The following podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing said on the podcast should be construed as investment advice, nor should anything said be relied upon as the basis for any investment decision. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not and should not be construed as a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit. All opinions expressed by hosts or guests on the podcast are solely their own personal opinions and do not reflect the opinion of everymickle.com or any company affiliated with the hosts or the guests. Hosts and guests on the podcast may maintain positions in securities discussed in the podcast. Neither everymickle.com nor its affiliates or subsidiaries warrant the completeness or accuracy of the opinions expressed herein, and they should not be relied upon as such. Strategies and investments discussed may fluctuate in price or value and may not be suitable for you. They do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and they are not intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security mentioned. Speak to a licensed investment advisor before making any investment decision.
Welcome everybody to the early part of BrickTalk, early one where we get at least a couple minutes of conversation in before we go live on YouTube. We are live here. What's up, Danai? All gone.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
It's been a hell of we missed last week. It's been a hell of a gap.
Indeed.
All things in the interim.
Indeed. The market's been interesting. More coming out in the hold on. Yes. I think people, the Mayberry bond, that's been coloring my last 2 weeks now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's a major part of what a major part of what we want to talk about tonight, but definitely, a major part of the new market that's coming. So yeah, I think that's a massive thing, one way or another.
What's been interesting to me is the way it reached the equity space, man. Like the way people are asking me about it.
Mm-hmm.
They ask him like, the new stocks IPO come out. That's what they're treating it. So some people, good enough amount. Like nobody that really in the know or anything like that. But then when they come, and I think even like I hear, I wonder. All right, so how I've been seeing this is, and a lot of people who, let's say before last week, we're talking about people with very strong goals, 100% in 6 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's most people with that kind of goal asking me. So, we'll buy and do thing there. And then I ask the plan, then them say interest payments.
Interest payment. Okay.
So I don't know if it's a misunderstanding or them actually say, or them don't want to just actually say, I think the thing will go fly. I think the price will go fly like a IPO, like a stocks IPO. I wonder if that is if they don't want to say that, or it's so it does some fancy, it sound to make money, or them say, because there's no way, right? 3 months from now you need 30%, and you're not looking at the interest payment, right?
Probably not. I think maybe it's a matter of the marketing that has been happening. I've been seeing it everywhere. I'm surprised at the marketing behind it.
Oh yeah, man, it large.
Yeah, man, I see Team Mayberry really look like them really pull out all the stops everywhere. People talking about it, and that I think is part of what, of course, is going to drive and has been driving the regular retail. So that they're looking for what do they call it? The IPO, the
IPO pop.
No man, what is Mayberry called?
Mayberry Investments IPO, the IPO, Mayberry
IPO,
and bond IPO.
Yeah. So definitely working in terms of getting people to know about it. And of course, you got people ask about IPOs because everybody kind of shy about what them really want to ask about it. But them really want it. Them here IPO, everybody want 100%.
Yeah, man.
Or 300%.
200.
Yeah. I can jump out at 3.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know how much. I think it really is a huge part of the new market. So I'm gonna hold off until we're live on YouTube before I talk about that. But if you have anything else that's been happening that's interesting.
Yeah, certainly. I think one, I think people in love with dollar again. I mean, I didn't think it stopped, but just I'm hearing more dollar in the streets, and the conversation. Their news this week. Was it this week? Boy, my head scrambled over the last 2 weeks. It's kind of had a weird weekend, so forgive me. But they, yeah, was it this week where they put out that they made them license, or was it last week?
I honestly don't know.
I don't actually care, right?
Yeah.
To me, it was I'll get the license. They're gonna do what they need to do to get the license if they can't get it, no, right? And BOJ now go screw them off. Just so. But end of the day, they get the license. But the conversation back there, and I think where did I hear? Oh God, the thing that they're getting in the news, where VM, one of the managers from VM, Brian Walker, I think his name is. I'm sorry if I butcher it, if I don't know if I say the name wrong. I still check it and to answer their actual proper name, but he was the wording of it. His quote sounds very interesting. Like what I saw the conversation around was if they're gonna, I'm getting so optimistic because he was saying basically I wouldn't be surprised when. So I'm gonna find the actual quote. But he won't be surprised when dollar comes to market next year, or goes to the main market next year. Something like that he said. Let me find the actual quote.
Right. As in move over to the
main market. And it doesn't sound like I wouldn't be surprised if, which is good enough, which is that's all like something can go on or something start going. I won't be surprised when.
Oh, like it's a foregone conclusion.
So something like that. That's in a plan. So like first, if he said it, then I know it's a plan somewhere. But I also want to actually find it something.
That's so interesting. I've been hearing a whole heap of those things. I think from the last time we spoke, it was more about what was that? That it was the RPL. RPL. RPL hadn't closed. The Regents hadn't closed it, and there was something being said about them doing their. I get my platforms confused. Was that on here that we spoke about where the guy was saying that CEO was saying
APO?
APO next year?
Oh yeah, man, we said it here, man. I had this conversation here. We started that conversation here.
Okay, so it's in that vein. I think where you're hearing a lot of that and so many things. I think is what has put me in the mind of just what we call it the future market, because there's so many things I think that have been said that indicate what's happening over the next few months and in my view the next few years. Over the next few years. I'm almost afraid to be excited the way we're excited.
Dwight Jackson. I said Brian. I said Dwight. Hey, I agree, bro. I think we've spoken about this before on earnings season. I explain it as excited. It's almost like I live in the moment. It's the thing that's going to happen. We see, and because it's coming that much closer. Anyway, by the time it reach, it's the thing of the moment. But I can't help living a bit like 2 months ahead, 3 months ahead. I was thinking about that thing happening, whatever.
Yeah. It is and has been a real just layout of things, and I find that like you mentioned, going back to the same earning season days, or we talk early earning season podcast days, when we talk about you're excited about things happening and what it means for the overall market. I find that the market now is so I don't know, me and the recency bias already. I find that there's so much recency bias around things now that oftentimes we miss when major things are happening.
Yes.
Like major
I mean,
things.
one is going on right. I mean, I just saw you in a conversation, and I don't know if I think that's the
I don't know. I was having about 4 conversations.
The thing you tagged me.
Oh,
no, actually, not that thing. Actually, something else. Same thing.
Around JP or the
no man, Summer.
Ooh, that's an earlier tag. That's also something that's coming up. All right.
But recency bias a week slap everybody.
Yep.
Everybody.
Myself included. There's just so much happening now that I think we're seeing the broadening of the market to the point where you are now having to pick,
Oh
make your bets
yes,
and ignore certain things.
yes.
Yeah, you can't catch everything anymore. I don't know if maybe that's just my bias because of where
No,
I am.
I've been seeing it more. I'm definitely I've been seeing it, and to the level where from like in the client perspective,
Hmm.
like I thought I would feel like like I think in my head I often think I should be able to exhaust everything in a certain way, like But then
Hmm.
no, when I think about it, yeah, like I mean the goal is coming to it and whatever, but end of the day, like, you think, right? No, yeah, the picking and the funny part is knowing that these two things can be great at the same time or whatever,
Hmm.
and you actually have to pick one.
Yeah, you can't have both. Literally cannot have both. Um, uh, uh, try as you might and as much as you might want to, you just literally cannot have both. I don't know if that's but again, yo, it might be your bias also. But
Mm-hmm.
hold on one second, let me try and go live. I am hoping that this works. We should be live in a few seconds. For those of you who like to watch the video on Twitter or on YouTube, or the people who are watching us in the Grow Grad group, big up and evening to everybody. So I believe we're live now. Uh, Welcome everybody to another Brick Talk. Good evening. I'm Randy. That's Danai. If you're watching us on YouTube, like I said, or if you are listening on Twitter live, welcome to another Brick Talk. This week we're talking about what we're calling the new market. I am hoping that everybody can hear and see me well, and I start off with my disclaimer that we always have. I'm not a licensed investment advisor. Danai Hall is a licensed investment advisor, but nothing that we say on the show should be taken as investment advice at any point in time. If you are making any investment moves, make it with your full knowledge and with the help of a licensed investment advisor who has helped you during an investment advisory session. Brick Talk is not an investment advisory session. Brick Talk is me, Randy, talking to Danai, my brethren, and him talking to me. And anybody who wanting to join in on the conversation on Twitter, sending a speaking request, and we'll hear from you. But Brick Talk is literally just us talking about the market. So please don't buy or sell anything based on the things we say. All right. Having said that, welcome to this week's Brick Talk after a 1 week break and one of the last Brick Talks for the year. And like I said, we're talking about the new market. And I we're just talking about some of the things that have been, some of the signs that have been shown about what is likely to happen and what is happening now and pointing at happening more and more in the future. You're just hinting at, you said summer, Danai. I thought it was a JP thing, but you said summer, which is old. Okay, so I seen the people on so I've seen the people on YouTube tell me that they have no sound.
Oh, damn. The JP thing also interesting. I mean, from more than just that, the thing you tagged me on, like the actual, I mean, the article, whatever, like the player in the headline of the article is
Hmm.
also interesting from things we've been watching for, and then there might be. I wonder if there's something tying in that further with the JP move with them
But
specifically.
well, I mean, let's bring the people up to speed. What did we
No, I don't want to talk about the next.
you don't
Sorry,
want to
yeah.
talk about it? You know, well,
No, not from the JP side. I'll just type the company I don't want to say. It's take the chat. Yeah, but no idea at all. But yeah,
yes, yes. I didn't know this was a summer thing.
oh no,
Um,
it wasn't the summer thing. That's how the
okay.
JP thing. The thing you were talking about summer. The that was summer. The summer people. I don't know for the conversation I saw. I don't know anything I don't know the JP tying to that at all in the convo.
All right. So we don't want to keep the people in suspense. The
In the
summer
sense,
thing,
yeah.
I think is fine to talk about.
Yeah, man, jam tea.
Yeah. So Jamty,
Summertime, my skin.
yeah, Jamty, Jamty, being very, very clear that they're moving
So I'm ready, man.
ready-ish, right?
Yeah, how much time you hear that now?
Quite a while. quite a while. I hope the people on YouTube can now hear me. I see that I am sending the actual audio to you, so I hope that you are able to hear me in YouTube. If you can't, send a notice, send a message telling me if you can or you can't, and I will try and fix it. But yeah, I get him confused by the things that we're talking about.
Summer. Jam
Summer.
tea.
Okay, yeah. So summer, the jam tea summer move. What
Them
was
say
it
next
then?
summer. Them body that body number.
Man,
Them say
oh
next
my
summer.
God.
Them say
So
we're not late. I wrong summer, I think, but damn, next
so
summer.
to bring everybody up to speed, what has been happening is Jam Tea has been talking about doing their spin-off for a while, and the spin-off of their Caribbean Dreams entity. The Caribbean Dreams entity and subsidiary, you call it, and
Yeah, subsidiary at this point.
subsidiary, yeah. And funny story. I think either at a Brick Talk or during a grow session, kept asking me. Someone kept asking me if I know about the Jam Tea, if I know about the Jam Tea, if they have solved. I'm working from memory here, so apologies if I get it wrong. But they're asking me if I have solved or if I am aware of Jamty their solving their licensing issues,
Oh, they have licensing issue.
which which is what was preventing them. Their
Continue. That was me.
sorry, that's you or me.
Okay. Yeah. My speaker was on.
Okay, all right.
Sure.
Apologies for that. Yeah.
Sure.
So if I'm aware of them having solved their licensing issues, which would allow them to do the spin-off. But at Grow Up, people can ask questions anonymously, and so they were asking anonymously. Really, they're asking anonymously, and I had no clue what they were talking about. I had no. I knew I had it as a thing in mind to go and check that if whether or not the delays were due to a licensing issue. Bottom line is, I saw the headline come out, and the headline says, pretty much Jamty has solved their licensing issues, and they're ready to list, ready to IPO. I think is how they put it. Ready to spin off their Caribbean Dreams. Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing it for a little bit while now, but they said they give clear time. They give a timeline on the spin-off, and then they give a timeline on the IPO.
And the timeline on the spin-off was
End of March next year, and then summer next year at IPO.
They said they expect it to be listed by summer, so I guess they give themselves an extra quarter.
Extra quarter.
Yeah, man, and that's truly Rihanna style bareface to say, yo, it's dropping summer again.
Yeah,
Just
man.
one more time. You said it last year.
Yo, bro. I mean, the first time I heard about it, it felt like summer then. 2021 summer, it felt like. I mean, I never said that, but the timeline given the 2021 summer, then it just kept walking back.
Yep.
Goalpost walk till they reach World Cup. Jesus.
and here we are now with them saying that, and I guess that's what like a light start to the new market. So it is. I put that under the class of companies that are shifting their overall, not just their view, but their overall layout, their overall
footprint, everything what they are now is that this is a step.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, Jamty now would then become a true conglomerate, if you will. I'm surprised that they haven't done more spin-offs, but I don't know how their investment.
I think this is the start. I mean, the second they did QWI. So
true, that is true. They did the QWI, which
this one does late, you know. I mean, they've said it before too. So give them quick credit, this but this one does late. So I mean, that's if number 2 don't happen yet, number 3 and 4 push back with it, I guess.
But
there's no reason to them. There's no reason to them separately, right? Just run them. Just work on all them same time. Agreed.
True. I mean, I can see reasons to do them separately, but you make more money, I think,
Yes,
if
I
you do them
mean,
separately.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh
I
no,
kind
what do
of
you think I meant?
skeptical.
What do you think I
I
meant?
thought you meant like work on all of the spin-offs at once. So they have a couple of companies within the group that can be
Hmm.
spun off.
Hmm.
And since Jamty is speaking now as listing
Oh, that's exactly
and
what I meant.
moving
Continue.
things on the
Yeah.
main market,
Hmm.
you know, why not look to spin off some of the other entities that you can spin off?
Hmm.
But like I said, like I can make the argument for doing it separately.
I agree, definitely. I mean, I would do it separately, probably. I wouldn't do it all at once. But
Yeah, but I honestly don't know how things going over Jamty. I look at the
hmm.
share price these days and I wonder. I don't feel bad about not about selling. I remember when I
Hmm.
felt bad at selling at the four. I was like flooding the market with shares. So
Oh yeah. My justification against that, I mean, I still held for far too long. And
hmm
they got out at a good amount, but I still had a good amount for too long.
hmm
Uh, my justification is thing that was, what was it? I had, oh, I mean, I'm not the one flooding. The director said more than me, bro.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. So for me, it was like running because I mean, and
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
another.
it came to a point where, all right, cool, man, I hold the strain and you not do it. So what's going on?
Mhm.
And you say so, and there's a point when it's a soon, when the thing soon happen, and we say already the time now, and you still hear nothing from nobody. I think it was October, went into October, you're nothing, and the director still has the shares.
Yep. That was long before that because remember
Yeah,
they did
man,
tell us
no, no, no,
summer
no, no, long before that, but to the
long
point where
before
if you
that.
were
Yeah.
waiting on the new timeline, you
hmm
did it right before October and see the brother there said, and then October reach, I'm still I said, I said, wait there. Imagine me here waiting on you.
And nothing happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But funny enough, I think even with all that, I think it is part of the new positioning of the companies in the market. The companies are
Mm-hmm.
just getting bigger and acting more massive and moving
Mm-hmm.
regionally,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, and that's in the food space. I can't even say the food space. It's the same
Every
food because
space.
of Jamty, but every space, right? And Jamty's footprint is bigger than food.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways also, you would find that in many ways also you might find that well depending on what you call him, like I wouldn't call him a food company, would you?
Who Jamty?
Yeah.
At this point, and it's a thing I think of, but at this point, not really. I mean, are they even most of that?
So like I'm
Yes, they're
thinking
most of that, but they're the biggest. End of the day, they're moving out of that wickedly to be this whole move Caribbean Dreams. End of the day, yes, they're going to be bigger in food, but a food company, nah. I think I would actually give them the conglomerate and think that I want
yeah.
them to do more.
And I coming from the perspective of looking at the company and what can heavily affect the revenues and
Mm-hmm.
heavily affect the profits.
QWI.
QWI has outsized impact, right? Get it
Mm-hmm.
wrong with QWI and it don't matter how good the food is going.
That was the thing I almost said earlier. But yeah, like
It,
think of it now, where
mhm,
you do something like QWI, and the thought around it is, yo, this is what make we live. Like this is the thing that QWI was a change of the face of their profits and revenue.
mhm.
It's yo, we're
And
making this much more. Because as shares, you can do that. We're making this much more. But when it don't work out,
it hit them hard.
yeah.
And
So
it continues to hit them hard.
then the man pull a VM and start water it down. Meaning or
What do you mean?
I want to know what the thought is. Then I mean it's from a direction type of point of view. I mean VM is setting there. They're looking at pushing allocating more towards real estate than thing there. Equities, the trading market, and you've seen where it hit them more than so since like 2 years, last 3 years or so.
I don't know. I always wonder about things like that.
VMIL, VMIL specifically.
Saying that
I
they're
mean,
moving more towards real estate. Is that
what do
what
you
they
mean?
said? No,
Yeah.
I'm asking if that's what they said.
Mhm.
Ah, okay. Well, and
That's
then
what you thinking.
you know me.
Oh,
I
same. I think I said it
real
here when I
estate
said it the
is
first time before. I said it here. I mean, but that's for them. They think.
Yeah,
Play the game, you know.
I'm not always necessarily gung ho about real estate. I know it
Oh,
sounds good.
agreed.
It sounds good to people who don't know better, but the real estate, like it's difficult. Like, what's one real estate company on the market that has given strong, consistent, strong, consistent cap gain, cap gains to shareholders?
Punjab.
Has Punjab though? Has it?
Uh,
Have they?
I don't know. I would say it's a lot more than it's a lot more than it is than 5 years ago, I guess.
I
But
mean,
still,
geez, Punjab, what they're about to become is definitely going to be much more than that. And even then, there's still more food and logistics.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm thinking if KP REIT was as if KP not KP REIT, sorry, if Kingston Wharves was as impactful to JP as it was, and then along came not Hoogastader, what's the they did something the other day that is even bigger
Or
in the
the juice company
no
in
man,
Spain.
not the juice company, man. Something is bigger than Kingston Wharves for them now. I don't know if it's a I don't think the shipping
I think it's
company is.
shipping. Is it?
Whatever it is, but if it had that logistic impact on JP, and then
Mm-hmm.
now it's under Panjam. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I guess Panjam still looking more in terms of the money from logistics, and of course JP
Mm-hmm.
has heavy food. But
Boy,
I still don't
what a
see.
play.
Yeah. That is also a wonderful sign of the new market that's coming, and but I still just don't see the real estate being that great. I think I still think
Oh,
Jamty is probably still the most exciting real estate company on the market.
yes, that's a funny thing. That's funny. That's actually funny. Because
Yes.
then imagine actually the VM thing. Meaning to the point where, I mean, hmm, you can't do that really right now. The best you can do to scale back whatever computer impact is make
Invest
other
better
things
with
bigger.
invest better with QWI.
Oh yes.
That's
No,
also the
so
truth. Yeah. That's
that's
badly
funny.
needed.
I know
That's
that's funny, but me saying what I said, I think it almost comes off worse than you saying that. If you really think about it.
what do you mean?
Because I was saying scale back the impact of QI. Like I'm saying, that's all
Oh,
that you know, that's not going to
well, that's
But
that
that's
is.
if you scale it, I mean, so yeah, to me, if you're having that conversation with yourself, you're losing already. If
Yeah.
you're saying, well, I mean, to scale by the investment side because the stock side because I lose too much, it's because you really think you can do it. So that should be there. So if that's, I stop that. That no, stop.
Boy, I don't
No,
know.
because it come up our way again in a different way. Right?
Yeah, finance carry
We
feelings. But
know that
the
I got
truth is,
feelings.
the nav is the nav.
The nav is he wasn't even cute, right? So
Yeah, no, I'll say for QWI, the nav is the nav, and it's much lower than when it IPO'd, and it is
that's hurtful, you know, bro.
as a
Yep.
QWI shareholder, yes, it is because I
You see that?
waited. I believe
You
no,
see, oh, it's
no.
also hurtful. Oh, yes, I mean, believe. I thought I would see more from it, to be honest.
I thought so too, but I think give it time and maybe they'll recover. I mean, it's
Mhm.
hard to kill a listed
Yes,
company.
I mean, what's the game they're playing? I could talk like it's me. Is that in terms of the same outlook I have? It's the same problem as Unitrust, if you miss it. I don't know what these guys going for. The best I can look at it as their MSCI index, that's the name of it, that
Hmm.
they're benchmarking. But
Which they're
I don't know what.
missing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't know what in fact I can't say it anymore. I show the benchmark they have. So their idea is we want to beat this.
Hmm.
So whatever, what's the average? What's the return on that thing historically?
MSCI.
You
I don't remember which one of them they're against. Is it the world index that they're
I think we're what's okay, open the prospectus line, let's check.
whichever one it is that they're against? I mean, I was surprised to see that they're missing it. If it is the world index,
I remember
or is it the emerging
prospectus
markets
came out.
index?
When the prospectus came out, I remember somebody. I think it was even responding to you. They were very quiet. They were making you know that sometimes the index loses money, so it's a bad index to track. And I'm like, your first time, all right? So for me, it wasn't the first time. It's the same. It's the same financing long term. So when you say things like that, if you're really long term, you're not saying things like that, right? If you're willing to hold something up for the next hold out an investment portfolio for the next 10 years. I mean, you just want to know, say the next 10 years it reach where you want to reach. The in between, nice, whatever, but as long as you reach where it's supposed to go, right? So whenever you hear the long termers talk against the things long termers say, it's always funny.
Boy, well, the MSCI Emerging Markets Index year to date is at negative 18.64%.
Year to date.
Yeah.
What's
1
what's
year,
their
negative 1707.
Mm-hmm.
Annualized yield over the last 3 years, 0.51%. Annualized 5-year, negative 0.04. And
Very same.
annualized 10-year, 2.44. And going from 1987, so that would be what? That's the year Mayberry listed GK. That'd be 35, 36 years ago.
Also, what's the average return,
9.56% annualized since 1987.
Got 10 years again.
all of the other numbers I've said it, except for the 3 years negative. All right, so I mean the index is the index, but
no. Yeah, I mean, no. Why are you tracking it? I'm not tracking it. Why is that a benchmark?
Why is it their benchmark?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the arguments we were making at the time for why that would be a good benchmark for them is, I mean, that's the emerging market thing. So it's looking at general markets around the world like the JSE, so not the Nasdaq, not the NYSE, yada yada yada, but smaller markets from emerging markets. And I guess you want to track yourself against the world. I don't have an issue with that. I still have an issue with them tracking against it. But at the end of the day, I don't make money from the index. I make money from the NAV. And well, I make some money from the NAV, and I would like to make money from the share price, but both of those things have been beating me for a long time. So as I was a disgruntled shareholder, and I'm no longer a shareholder, but I still think that QWI represents a shift for what's happening and going to happen more and more in the future, meaning
definitely
companies broadening their reach in terms of where they started from to where they are now. So no longer just making the tea and owning the supermarket by price, right? No, they have a much bigger footprint. They're trying to go regional, and investing is also a huge part of what they do. And they seem to be transforming themselves to be like, an investing group. Same thing. I remember saying that to you about Massey, and I mentioned it a couple of times. Yeah, Massey doing it, and now we see JP kind of doing the same thing. Right, it's a new shift.
Yes,
JP shifting. To me, just looks very much like an investment company. That's all they're in now, with all the operational stuff moved over to one of their holding. Yeah, one of their holdings.
Yes.
And of course then. What was JP? I suspect that they're doing. You want, if you're going to go into investing, you want to get as much cash as you can in your pocket. So you see them doing lots of moves. I saw that. I just remember the message to me. Yeah, lots of moves around around those lines. And
enough. She came a message here. Enough moves around those lines, because not just them. Wow.
Like who else?
Check your chat.
But I think what's happening is also, I don't know if you've said that in the chat, but GK is also very much looking at that. GK did that thing where they bought those unit trusts. I think 2023.
GK is listing all the companies. GK
right?
in the again investor briefing say, yo, we want to list a lot more companies. This is been a good thing.
Jesus, GK
And
acting
about
like,
unit trust now, Jesus.
yeah. Well, that I was thinking about that. It's the year of the unit trust getting more popular, and not getting more popular, but actually I think might be getting useful. I was thinking about that earlier today. Where I was thinking 2024 might be the year of the funds, where as it stands right now, I think Barita has the best fund.
Is it?
Yeah, when I say Barita's the best fund, I'm
Best
not talking about
performing
listed.
equity fund. No,
Yeah,
man.
not listed funds. Um, I think Barita has
Okay.
the best
Performing
unlisted
funds
fund. So yeah,
yesterday.
unit trust or whatever. I think that real estate fund that they have, you know how
Oh,
that
the
is.
real estate, yeah, man. There.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. Which was, I mean, shout out to Jerry predicting some serious money in the unit trust market, because
Uh-huh.
it was obvious with the buying of the land and then the revaluing of the land once it's in the unit trust immediately sends the value of the units up. And those of you
You
check
know,
check
you
the
know what?
history would see.
I look at that very, very interestingly.
What's that?
It's the unit trust is a gateway. Like they 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 can sell that. I want to say it. I want to say to you differently. But, the idea that liquidity of getting real estate. I can't actually touch real estate, but there's a pool of funds that is invested in real estate and
Mm-hmm.
has way more liquidity than the real estate. In fact, I get my money same day from it.
Ah, 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 ah.
The house never loses, and two, there's a lot more plays around a whole thing that get very interesting.
I think they are going to get interesting. But then,
It's start already. I mean, yeah, I mean, you get me. Yes, I fully agree.
yeah.
It's way more.
And then with listed companies getting into that game, so you have like GK. I'm interested in seeing how if they have any new funds and how those new funds will look.
Imagine advisor they tell you. It actually said there one thing that on a unit trust. Like the month before it reached it bust.
That'd be good.
Say, oh, do unit trust, I'm gonna put 50 million there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd be a very happy person. Oh, you'd be a very, very happy
Oh
person. Oh.
God.
Yeah, I wonder about can those things face like drawdowns, like a run?
So that's the thing I never want to say. I mean,
Okay,
I can say it. I never want to say it because I don't want to be a bad story. But
you don't know, you don't know,
it's a good
because
and a bad story that can happen
it's
from both of
definitely
them.
going to be misconstrued. Let's leave it alone. It's
Yeah,
definitely going
but
to be misconstrued. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll say though is that it's interesting to see companies spread their wings and looking at areas that they really just never looked at before, but have almost been forced to. GK acting like, I mean, at this point, unless something magical happens over the next what we have over the next 22 days, I think GK probably, in terms of active broker of the year, they'd probably have the lead easily,
Oh yeah.
because they're
I
acting
mean,
like the investment bank.
yes. Oh, didn't they win something like that? Is it the best listed company or was the best investment bank? The best thing there or
From
best
who?
investment bank? Which one did they win?
I don't know. From who? The JC Awards?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm actually not sure. I haven't paid attention to what the JC Awards were. I know
We
GK
not care,
wins
brother.
some, but yeah, yeah. But I
I,
mean, what do you
I
mean?
think I think I think people expect us to. I think people think we like somebody else one of those things, and they asked me about that. If I was like I was at a lime, one of them investment lime something there. If how come out there? And in my head I was like, well, you think I already got to these things.
Yeah, I don't know. You know me. Go there for what?
that my ass what.
Yeah,
We got my rich client then,
yeah. I see. Speaking of rich, well, it's not a client, but it's definitely in the wealth category. I see. I see. At Guru Johnny on
Yeah
Twitter
man,
said,
the
"You don't
boss
owe you
himself.
the real boss himself." Very happy, very very happy. Somebody called me, asked about the idea. I said, "Want the Porsche boss him good?" So I'm very 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 happy to see that he's good and
Oh
active.
yeah, yo, so
And
when I heard it, you saw my reaction. That was shocking,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
way who tell me the way them tell me, it was thin. It was shocking to me still, but yeah,
yeah. He
happy is
actually,
good.
well, you know what? I'll breach that. I've reached that topic since he reached that topic. He said in times of stress, unit trust can become very illiquid. I've seen it before, which is a question
That
I
was
was
my point
asking.
of the thing there.
No,
You
go
just
ahead, go
gone
ahead.
again. And that's my point of a very illiquid asset. The real liquidity behind a unit trust. A unit trust is one, the money that's there, either not invested yet or just get redeemed, right? In real estate, imagine actually 2,000% growth the thing had.
Which one? Yeah, I
The
think it was a couple of 1,000% growth. I think it was more than two, but yeah, the
a
unit trust
thousand
that
percent growth is 10x.
and that made me think, can they face a run, right? Because
Yeah.
if
What
people put,
happened?
yeah, if 10 people put 2 million each in, 20
Mhm.
million in, and you give me 1,000% on 20, I'm not sure that thing can manage the liquidity of 20 people pulling no
They have to find a way.
1,000x of 20. Yeah, but they can't.
Exactly.
They can't. That
Mhm.
it's a real
I
concern.
mean, they can, but then it leaks into it leaks out of the unit trust problem.
We might they can. Where they gonna find the money?
They have to. So think about that. I mean,
I,
either
don't
if
know.
I go try find the money, then it's gonna be what can the unit trust do? That in borrow against something or borrow from. I mean, say and it's Barita. Say Barita say, all right, cool. I'll lend the unit trust or lend this unit trust the money thing there for this purpose. And the securing asset is if they can do that based on whatever as a unit trust. But the securing asset is a house or the things we have there, the land. But then immediately then the liquidity problem is more than just on the unit trust to find. Is the actual company that running it now have a thing there. And there are things around it in unit trust for to some degree, stuff like that. But end of the day, yeah. In an equity market scenario, it bad and not so bad. But real estate, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You
'Cause
come
you
for a
can't.
million.
Yeah, you can't sell the land. I guess the point that I would bank on, and this is me coming from an amateur's point of view here. The point that I'd bank on if I was running in that sort of situation is that, well, a commercial bank might have the money and be willing to lend me since it's backed by a
Oh
real
yeah, that's what I
estate
mean.
backed
That's
asset.
exactly what I mean. So I
But
figured
suppose
the
they're
house
not.
would.
Suppose they're not.
That's why your house. I mean,
Yeah.
they have the thing. Hmm, the thing I need to check. I'm checking right now. I need to check in my. I have it in my head right now. If I need to check it and write it down, is that guarantee they often give? Is that real guarantee? Is that in anything legal that they have to give the money now if I want it? I mean the time to pay out the money from the fund.
Mm. I don't. You know what?
What's the actual liquidity there that they have to? I mean, you hear me? So
I'd have to go and
I
check
can't
that.
go more than 2 days. So imagine if that's the case, then if I can't tell you no, we just don't have it yet, then sure. But
They
if
might.
the law said this, I want check. That's why I need to check now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a pressure.
Yeah, for anybody wondering or wanting to do the check on their own, you'd have to check the unit trust documents, the actual, maybe the articles for the unit trust or the terms of the unit trust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And check FSC stipulations. Them give you actual guidelines on what
can I,
unit trusts need to stay like
correct,
to be qualified.
correct. For me, and it's a good segue into what another thing I think for 2024, 2023, sorry, and beyond, the funds. So the listed equity funds now, that's a different game. That's a new game for them.
Mm-hmm.
Or it should be. Really and truly, we only have what? Three active managed. Equity wise, we have what? Three. We have
Three QWI,
QWI
MJE,
and
equity.
CPFV.
Not even equity. It's real estate.
Yeah, but I mean, true. I'm thinking about a fund that is backed by the market, which allows greater liquidity. So you have your selects, but those are passive funds, right? Passive
Mm-hmm.
funds. So active management, you're really just looking on QWI, CPFV, and MJE. And CPFV is in a different sort of band, like you said. So it's really QWI and MJE.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, QWI, we spoke about that already. MJE is in a different class, and which is a great segue into the whole
It's the
bonds
performance.
business.
Oh yeah. And that is that's the new market that is
That
going to be It is. The light in the room.
You like
Hold
it?
on, give me a
No
second.
problem. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, for anybody listening in. And by the way, guys, you can send a speaker request. We'll talk about whatever you want. If you want to jump in on the conversation, you're more than welcome. So just hit the request button and we'll bring you in at the next pause. So it's up to you guys if you want to jump in. Oh, and I see what Sir Berry is saying here again. He's saying that they can face a run because the fine print allows them to suspend payout. So he's saying the same thing I was saying. Read the actual fine print, read the documents around the unit trust, the stuff that most people don't read before they get into it. In the fine print, it allows them to suspend payouts, which I suspected it would because they can face a run. Because if it's a bad situation for you, I don't know that me with a bank with depositors' money where I have to face even more fiduciary duty from two ends, my shareholders and the depositors' money that I have. I don't know that I can easily put that money, lend that money to you to cover a run on your unit trust, right? And even if I get your asset, let's say you can't pay it off and I get your asset, I still then have to monetize that asset. I'd have to find somebody else to sell it to or make some money off of it. So, but I still think there's value in a well-run fund. Me personally, not too excited about the unit trusting. Still not putting my money there, but I think they might get more exciting. The listed funds now, I think. I mean, the Mayberry bias. I want to try and give like what seems like an unbiased view towards Mayberry, and it's not that I'm biased. It's just that
You've seen what they do.
Nobody's giving them competition.
Yeah, I mean, would you be excited about anybody else doing a bond IPO?
I was thinking here just about MJE, but fine, let's get into it. The bond itself, anybody else doing a bond IPO, I would not care. This bond that Mayberry is doing, the four tranches, these four bonds. I bust the private things I said. I've been mad busy over the last too long, so I hardly get started than I usually do. When I saw this, I said to him, "Say, yo, this to me is like." I'm editing what I said. In case somebody wonder, I'm pausing, editing some of the words that I say. This to me is exciting because it is like 2009 again. It is a start of a market that I don't think people are realizing is going to be a massive market. Like I'm looking at it, and I said 2 weeks ago that it is the most exciting thing on the market.
On the market, yeah.
This for me this year, and I still believe that no. And this is a year where I had a Virgin Swaby IPO this company. I mean, I got a nice piece of that, and it's an exciting thing for me. But this IPO, this bond IPO, is the most exciting thing that I have seen on the stock market in a long, long time because of what it represents. Like in the growth subscribers group, we're talking, and I noticed something come up now that people ask, and I think it's gonna be asked more. Like Dollar was in the news. I remember why Dollar's in the news this week. It was not for the BOJ thing. It was for their bond. Dollar did that 1 billion dollar bond, and they put it on the private market. And I'm wondering why.
Why?
And then in the group, people are asking, I wonder why. So now I'm wondering how long before they move it from the private market to the bond market, the public bond market, because it is what I'm seeing that is likely to happen with the Mayberry bond is the making of a new market that I am beyond excited about, brother. Like,
I can't stop thinking about how much other conversations this leads into.
yes,
We were just talking the other day about, well, one, I mean, we're talking with Phil and Jerry about not really any strong detail, but around pricing a bond. What a bond is like with an actual active trading market.
Yeah.
Bro, look on the thing there. By name again, the problem that the bank's going through.
Where they have a lot of bonds.
Where they have a lot of money on the bonds, but there's no actual market, so the market is a market-to-market situation.
You know what's crazy
they have to take that.
You know what's crazy to me? That is just the disdain with which the local market was viewed, in a brother. There's no reason to not list it on the bond market. Absolutely no reason to not list it on the bond market. But so if you're stuck in a situation now where you find yourself stuck with bonds as a house or a bank, you kind of you kind of have yourself to blame. But the out is always there. You can always list it on the market. No, I suspect that is going to start happening over the next
Oh
few
yes.
years.
The media look at it and just think about it. Think of if we had an actual exciting bond market.
I think we're going to.
And yeah, man. But then think of the issues we had with the bond market so far. It's we can't raise the money because
No one cares
the
about it.
same brother now buy again.
That's
Or the
true.
same brother now him not buy again this month. Or him not come in the 100 mil again this time.
Yeah.
Another one
Our
another
100 mil
one catch
already
him.
tied up. Yeah, 100
Yeah.
mil already tied up. In fact, a lot of our bond market, and again, I'm speaking as an outsider here. So if anybody in the industry sees it and knows that boy, knows that I'm talking crap, feel free to tell me I'm talking crap. But we can debate it. But how I know the bond market work as from the outside is that what they do in the industry is they would time bonds for when other bonds are expiring.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Alright, done. Cool.
yeah,
Money time.
yeah. GOJ, whatever is about to expire in March or April. So we have a big thing that we're
But think
advertising. So it's just keep the money tied up, which is fine for a house. But the fact that you never once considered, yo, all these retail people out here, they don't care about the name of what they're. I mean, the APO lesson should have taught us that, right? If people don't really care about the name of what they're buying because they're looking for a gain. So if you have an actual market in bonds, and the bonds, I tell the people in case anybody lost some of the benefits of this. No, I guess maybe what I think maybe is setting off here. So the benefits of it is like you're not getting a 12% yield from a dividend. No company is gonna give you a 12% yield from a dividend.
literally all the dividend investor guys that never once plan on cap gaining them life, but would have loved to be able to do this dividend thing, it starts CETA. To the
Perfect.
12% they want. Or 8, you never get that before.
Like
The price gone up, you never get that before.
People, you're stuttering. I am so excited about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm so excited. Like I'm that excited. You're right. Things I've never seen before.
Mhm. The thought, this again is, boy, the Jamaican market isn't mature. See it again. Yes.
See, getting mature here.
Everybody, but then think of the fact we keep hearing from people who in the position to do it. But the same guys doing it all the time, and they're not the ones complaining.
Well, Berrien team doing it no boy. And if the junior
You see the
market
thing
is
there,
any
it is the poster when it just
experience,
dropped. The poster when it just dropped.
what's that?
Wait there. The thing that that one IPO poster. I mean, it's saying it. But you know.
Isn't it? I think that's what he has. That's what he has as his avatar. No.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the picture of the bad man.
The
Say, yo,
bad
this legacy. You see me?
Yeah. So, all right. Let me tell you another thing. For regular people listening here, I'll talk to them. I'll talk to the regular people. One of the reasons why I'm also excited about it. I'll give you some background. At Grow, I'll give you guys some of the things I say at Grow. When I describe in the markets, at Grow, I'm just very, I don't paint the words all fancy. I'm very, very clear. The JSE has 4 markets you can access easily: the main market, the junior market, the USD market, and the bond market. The bond market currently is the most boring market that they have. That's literally what I said, Grow. So I list them in order of boredom. The bond market is the most boring. The USD market is the second most boring. The junior market is exciting, and the main market is a market everybody know. The bond market is about. I'm about to not be able to say that anymore. I can literally see it. I'm about to not be able to say anymore that the bond market is the most boring market.
Boring,
I
brother.
yeah. I I said to somebody the other day that yo, it's a
some
safe
trade over there.
space. Say that again?
He says a safe space.
No. I said that the bond market is about to become a safe space.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
actually, the Mayberry bonds are about to become a safe space because suddenly you have somewhere that you can park your money.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm excited about it, I'm not. People might think I'm thinking from a big money perspective. I am. but I'm also thinking from a small money perspective.
Yeah.
The days when I was playing with 100 grand, on the days when you do a play at 100 grand, you find a 20% play, and you make the 20% play, now you have 120 grand, and you come out tight. Where do you go? You have to leave it sit down in J Trade, or leave it even before J Trader days. You leave it sit down in your money line, or just leave it at the broker, because you don't really have a safe space. You might think, oh, I put in NCB because or I put in in Carreras or for the dividends, or no, like for me, the closest I come to a safe space now is SVL, because the dividend coming every quarter, right? But the truth is, the price of jumping in and jumping out of like a SVL, the dividend is not going to cover it. You have to sit in there for a while. It truly is a longer term thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bonds now, though, at the yield on even the lowest bond at 9% means that I'm comfortable trying to make a play somewhere and coming back and sitting in this bond until I find another play, even if I only have 100 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't qualify for the bond, if you have, let's say you have 5 grand, you can't qualify for the bond, you can't apply another IPO because you're below the minimum. It soon start trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll soon be able to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a market being actually made. And then the pinnacle, when I start thinking from a business perspective now, like this is disruption. Who do you think they're disrupting? Guess. I'll make a guess. Make a guess.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You're delayed on YouTube, I think. So that's why.
Yeah,
Disrupting.
that's
What
all
do
I
you
could
mean?
get the sound to work on YouTube.
Disrupting
So
from what angle? Because my immediate thought was, the lame guys, the fixed deposit is the way to go kind of deal.
yeah, but go further.
Further. I'm not sure which angle you're going, but all right, sure. Overall, in terms of like, looking at the yield, a lot of the lame guys get things there. In two, even the unit trusts get disrupted because they're
Yeah,
getting
man.
better returns on that.
Exactly. Quarter, and you get some cash flow from it if you
Cash,
care about that
yeah.
thing, right? But go further. And think simple. Think regular people.
Somebody said, sorry, I was about to say, sorry, Jason Bank.
Yeah. Like, yo, the average return on a savings account,
It's mad.
I think up to I want to say like August or September was 0.42%.
Mhm.
Any money I have sitting in a savings account, why would
Makes
I keep
sense
it in
in
a
a
savings
bond.
account?
You know,
It makes
I
sense
don't
in a
know.
12% bond. If you believe in actually saving.
But you know what this really is? Like we're actually making an active investment class. Like this is the moment anybody knows about that difference.
Mm-hmm.
You say wait there. Like it just start make like maybe I don't know if I'm how optimistic I'm being. I mean, I'm probably too optimistic. It's not for everybody thing that they do it. But end of the day, it's
No,
open
I
to
think it is
everybody.
a everybody thing.
No man, from a perspective of you think somebody does not win. It makes sense for everybody. Yes. I mean, I don't think in terms of all Jamaica do it now. But what I'm looking at overall is the fact that I mean this is the market. They're making the market no matter what. This is actually your investments just meaning we know how underinvested people are in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So no, this is a proper easy entry. Like those sound like stocks where you're trying a thing. It sounds like yo, you get the money. Like same when you get the partner draw money.
And
This is in fact it more real than a bank because your interest payment coming. The bank tell you say at the end of the year them send you a statement where they tell you say you make the money, but you never really make it because you pay it off in a fees.
quarterly with no backdated service charge.
Yeah, man.
Shout out
So
to the TFS bank out there.
When you were saying earlier in my head, I don't know how much people think this is actual. When you were saying it's a game changer, we're not being excited. This is actually real.
It is a massive game changer.
At the complaint you often hear about, like evening class, not accessible to most people. In fact, people have the houses instead of do this, them them get the bond together, put their money in it or whatever, and then put in unit trust and collect 2 ways. So now, okay, the unit trust is the way that bonds are accessible to regular people. No, go so. Oh no, that's on you guys. That's why that situation exists is because that see maybe you're coming and tell you so you can actually get the bond direct. And not very likely you ever see a unit trust with 9%. A bond unit trust with 9%. You know to get the payments actually. Then the unit trust get the payments and then you get you're investing in the unit trust and getting less than whatever return than this.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
real
game
money, real.
changing to the
This,
point
this
where
just put it. If this works at how I want it, this is like this is because again it's a market. So I don't think they're going to be the only option at the end of the day. So, wow.
we said the only option. What you mean? I think there'll
Meaning
be.
it's going to. I think they're going to be. They're going to be listings of the like afterwards. I'm just saying it's not going to be hard at all for somebody to look. It shouldn't be hard at all after a while for somebody to look at this as a real option for them with no actual, not as well. I have a hold up on doing this. It's yo, if you want a bond or you want to invest, you want to go the equity thing fully, and trust me, I'm still hearing it.
Mhm.
This is an option. You get the money which way. You don't usually get that.
True.
This
And
is
you,
this is the democratization.
yeah, that's what I see Chris
It's
very
real,
put there. That is
and there's
really
a
the
lot more. Wow,
the democratization of
investment space.
yeah. Like I can't like think about how many people I think about how many people I know that boy them afraid of the stocks thing.
Oh
So
yes,
so them leave their money in a savings account. You know people know a million sit down in a savings account.
the things I've seen. I mean, since I do what I do, like I've seen people have big money and they invest the big money in fixed deposit or something like that, and then they take a little piece of it and then throw the goals on that little piece to go to the market with it.
Hmm.
If you check what them want it from the market, in fact, like you see, like yo, the piece them have in the fixed deposit is like 10 times or more than the piece them on the market with.
Mm-hmm.
But if you check what the fixed deposit money is supposed to make, what they want from money on the market is the same amount as so you get me, like say this $10 million versus 1 million invested on the market, 10 million fixed deposit, and you want double the 1 mil, but you want 10% on the fixed deposit.
I mean you can want it, but you're probably not gonna get it.
Yeah. But end of the day, I mean, you're getting it now, but end of the day, if if you're looking at 100% on the market,
Mm-hmm.
if they were to come to the market and look for 50 with 2 mil, if they were to look for 100 with 2 mil, it's about the same amount of work as 100 with 1 mil in the same time.
100% gain. I mean, yeah. I think anywhere from 2 to 5 million
Mm-hmm. It's
are
pretty similar. So
pretty similar to the work.
if you
Yeah.
look at that, then yeah, like, if you want, if you even came with 1 more million, you'd have made double what you want with the same amount of work versus the timid something. If you came with if you put a full 11 mil to make the 1 million you were trying to make, that's much lighter work. That's what 7% or so 7-8%.
Yeah. And you even thinking, you see, you still thinking about the people who thinking about this. Most people have no clue what is going on with their
Oh no
money.
no no no!
Yeah.
Well, that's a story I was trying to tell earlier. I just never want to say it like that. It's yo, we don't really know what going on, so but IPO, so okay, I'm going. And that's why I said there's no way them telling me I want interest payment at X, Y. You want it double. That's what you want me to say to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also a funny thing. A
Why?
double. 5% is more than most interest, more than most dividend. So if this thing double, it's paying 5%. Right? Say I
That,
think the 10% tranche. If the price of it doubles.
yo, there's things I deliberately don't want to say.
Oh, well,
There's
you get what I'm
things I
saying, right?
deliberately don't
So
want to say.
you definitely get what I'm saying. But
Yeah, no, yeah, man.
everything around that is just a special, brother.
Yeah, the people are realizing that I say is that we're not overplaying how excited we are and how exciting this is.
Mm-hmm.
It is, as I said, when I said it to him, it is like being at the start of the junior market.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you had some money in 2009 when Mayberry did Access and started things off. And then for a while it was just Mayberry. It was just Mayberry really using up the junior market, listing companies on it. Look at where the junior market is now and how it's
Mm-hmm.
considered. Imagine if you could go back, what's that, 13 or so years? To the start of to the start of the junior market.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel we are now at the start
Mm-hmm.
of the bond market, the start of the bond market.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. And then to put on top of it,
Say make
the
bonds
fact,
great again.
yeah, make bonds great again. Why not? Wow, like it is, like it. Think of how bonds going to trade. Think of how
Uh-huh.
bonds trade.
Go. I want to hear what you say.
No, I don't want to say it. You say you say it. Just
Well, yeah, to me that's it. And
like every investor should shift their strategy to consider this because there are
them don't get what you just say, you know.
implications.
Them don't get what you just say.
Not
Them
yet.
things say mean, yo, go get the 10%, brother. Get the 8 something, the 9.
Yeah,
Think
no,
they want they say right this we want to go for the interest payment. Them think that mean.
no, no, yeah, no,
And they
no, no.
could. That's a word. That's a funny part.
Yeah,
They
you
could.
know, I should point out that uh, I feel like I don't want to say it, but I feel like I might regret not saying it. Well, also have this is not an ad. As much as you're talking, it's not an ad. We haven't been paid to talk about it. I know I saw some people talking about it. I figure it's some paid stuff. We literally just talking about it because
Talking about it. It,
it is the
it really,
most
man. It's
interesting.
serious, man.
It's the most interesting thing on the market all of 2021. It's the most interesting thing
Who
to
would have
me
thought? I said, look at us.
on
Who
the,
would have thought?
who'd have thought? Yeah, not me. Not me. Excited about a bond. About 4 bonds. I would not think so, but I am excited. I am properly excited about what it means. I'm properly excited. And as I say, any investor, I'm not telling you to buy or not buy, because that's unimportant. That'll be unimportant 2 years
To the
from now.
conversation we're having. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
What
that.
what I think 2 years from now will be important, however, will be your investment strategy. Whether you're a short-term investor or a long-term investor, your investment strategy should consider the impact of this because this changes the game. This adds depth to the game. And I can't wait to see how many people are going to follow. How long do you think before dollar lists their bond on the bond market?
Next year.
You think so? I think like I give them like maybe 2 quarters after
After this.
after this one list. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Right.
I can play the public the news cycle, the public exposure. So because they're out there, which is also a good thing. Another part of the changing market is that we now have CEOs and company leaders out there. I mean, think of 2 years ago. Even come up to I think even earlier this year when the same Sir Berry that we see sending messages in a chat like this. Who's sending messages now that people can interact with on Twitter if he chooses
Uh-huh.
to. Yeah, I couldn't I read about I don't want to say names because people get offended. I don't mean any offense, but like I grew up reading about Matalan in the newspaper. I can't ask Matalan what I'm thinking about Ray. But 2022, you might be able to ask a CEO or a chairman on Twitter, and you could get a response, right? Like it's a different market now. It's a market that probably Sir Berry himself probably only dreamt about when he was starting out years ago. I know that other people have spoken in the industry. I don't that were there from long before. I don't think they could dream of where we are now.
Oh no. I Certainly. The conversation that I have there, it's always, in fact, a big part of the conversation is it's a shock. We always tell you how far this thing coming from, or what this thing was, or whatever, or what the market was, and often they still have that view of it. And secondary, they can't believe that people think of the market in the way they think of the market.
Yeah.
That was. I think that him again. Article with Sir Berry, and he said, "What's the article?" And he was talking. I think no, either an article or interview he had, and he was talking about where the young people in the market. They're just asking about the performance of the market and what's been in recent times. And so, also young people know Jamaicans are believing in the Jamaican market and are actively supporting it and pushing more into it. And the more we have of that, then the more we have of the next things. Because everything there is a consequence of this. Yeah. But we have investment spaces. We're on Friday night talking about investments. We had a podcast and I was doing really well compared to things outside of the investment space.
I still put this stuff on on this podcast stream, and the numbers.
So we have a podcast. We have a podcast.
Big up to everybody listening on the podcast stream right now. Yeah, it's earnings season. BrickTalk, call it what you want. It's Randy and I talking about stocks.
But if even more, we have YouTube shows dedicated to let's talk to the CEO about this company has gone on this, or this company has listed already. And it's more than one of them. You have WhatsApp communities, bro. We have WhatsApp and Telegram communities based around, what's going on in the investment market in Jamaica? I'm investing. And them growing and growing and growing. Yeah, so far where I come from and far where I go.
Massive. No man, got you.
Where we are now is just, if you really think about it, we don't reach nowhere yet. We just in a real bond market. Yeah.
Yeah. The start of it. Think about how many bonds are, how many bonds are already out there. How many small companies have bonds already out there?
Think about that. Houses. Think about how much small companies just couldn't do it. There was no bonds. You can now be listing a debt.
It's not even on the company.
Exactly.
It's not even on the company sometimes. The house might just push through because I own the debt. Right? I own the debt. So why not list it? That's the things I'm thinking of, brother.
As in when I said what I just said, it leaked me wickedly what I just said. Yeah. And then it just opening up more and more and more and more.
Think of how many small companies have bonds that 10 people own the bonds and 4 of them involved with the company, and the other and 2 of the other 6 are houses, and the other 4 is pensions.
Think about how small companies don't, because getting a bond wasn't a thing. Because you know it. You go to the house and it probably just stop this up because the one know your thing. And in many other markets, you're just a high interest rate company. That's you're just a high interest rate bond. It's not that you can't get a bond. It's just that these are what happened on these are the covenants. We have that privately now, but we have it publicly. Yeah, and the house now becomes even more of a machine for that. I mean, Mayberry gives private debt. I think in many ways more often than not. Why? At this point, you realize that this is a long sponsored segment, right? Because in truth, big man thing, I don't know how much. I mean, we all know it. They do a lot of the thing. They do actually do a lot of private debt. I mean, I think other places do too, definitely.
Well,
but in ways that you don't see it, like the smaller guys, them get through more well, you see me? And other places, we're not even going to pay more than so still. Shut up. Yeah. The bank treatment.
Yeah. I quote another tweet from Chris Berry for the space. Again, I just shared it in the space. So Berry, if you want, you can come on and talk to the people. I'm sure they'd love to hear you. But
I think he just don't want to do it right now.
I figure. The fixed income market is many times greater than the stock market.
Yeah, he said that.
Think about that.
The
stock market is what? 1 point something trillion, 2 trillion.
Uh-huh.
The fixed income market is many times greater. And unlike so many, like, think of when you bring a company to IPO to market, the process you have to go through. A lot of these bonds are already done. Like the companies have already done the work. And them already have to be putting out quarterlies for the bond holders.
Because them 10 people, I mean, I rank with the money. I mean, that's it. You go
And
into
then,
the bank, it's like you're into the bank system most time. So you're doing a lot of things already. And if that and then the ends justify the means, right? So
yeah,
I don't know if that's the right saying for that. But end of the day, then we also have the issue of compliance generally for companies in Jamaica. If the reason we don't do things is because what's the point? In most cases. But then
that's
no,
true.
if you can get a bond, then you can get the loan you've always been wanting.
That's
In
true.
fact,
I'll
the
pause
bank
one
loan versus the
second.
bond loan are different. It's a different stress. But yeah, got you.
Pause the free ad because I see Sir Barry jump on. Sir Barry, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Good
All
night.
right.
Big boss, good night, Mr. Berry. How are you?
I'm good, man. And yourself?
Everything cool and everything cool.
We're doing great.
Yeah, this is a strange group, man. Everybody, it's Friday night. Nobody at the bar talking investments and stuff, having a beer. How that work?
We'll have the beers and then we'll come on stream.
Okay.
That one, and in fact, I think we overdue a in-person brick talk, So we're going to do
Facts.
one at a bar. We're gonna find a bar in a couple of weeks and do one. But Sir Berry, big up. One, very very happy to hear here. Like that night, I tell you, it was a shock when we hear that it was that you had that
Oh yeah,
accident. But
for you.
glad that you're here and you're sounding and looking like your usual self on Twitter. So I suspect things are good. And this Bunbury, we're talking about bonds. We're also talking about unit trust. I know you have some history. You know the history of the market well from the history of the unit trust. So if you can just summarize to the people what you're saying, especially with that point about a run on unit trust.
Yeah. So let's not talk about it from our run, right? So
Okay.
typically the unit trust is great because what it does is you get a professional manager to select good assets. And let's use real estate as an example.
Mhm.
I can remember when I bought my first house. It was one of the most difficult things you actually achieve in your life is when you actually buy your first house. After you buy your first house, it get easier. Be careful, you end up with a lot of houses. But yeah, because once you do it and you learn the game and the banks give you credit and you pay it back and you know how to buy income earning properties and so forth and so on, it's not that hard. But the first one's very hard.
Hmm.
So you just come back, you just start work, and you're from college or you're working your way up through the system. You can't buy a house. That's just not reality in today's world. Um, but you can buy a real estate unit trust, and if it's well managed, you
Hmm.
will make money on your money. So the purpose of what I call a collective investment scheme,
Hmm.
so it allows retail investors to have access to investment assets that they would not normally access. But running those kind of things is expensive, right? So when you add up all the charges, most of them the charges is, 8-12% is what you actually end up paying out on your money. Um, but you're still better off than putting in a bank and getting 1%, 0.4%.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what the
yeah.
bank rates are very low. Um,
Correct.
so I don't think it's constructive to cost the bank. What we have to think of is like there are different options of investment out there, and the fact that banks aren't outbidding each other and paying higher and higher rates means that's just where the market's pricing that product right now. So so one of the things we always like to look at from our perspective is, can we provide something out there that's gonna give the retail investor some more vig, some more return, and meanwhile, we can reduce our costs. And actually, I would say, no, it wasn't really a great time to do it. We've been having this idea for a while, because interest rates have been higher than they've been in 10 years. And
So you
so the
mean no
rates,
wasn't a
the
good
rates for
time?
us from our perspective are not that
Okay,
great.
okay.
But there's no great time not to start, right? So
Mhm.
we just decided to start anyway. So going back to the unit trust argument, the problem you get in these type of collective investment schemes is that the asset class is so real estate as an asset class, it will
Mm-hmm.
always do well over a long time if you have a good manager. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have long periods where the asset class will adopt a negative return cycle. So, like for example, in a banking crisis in Jamaica that was taking place in the mid to late 90s, which
Mm-hmm.
lasted for a very long time. We had a lot of money being pumped into the system. Real estate prices went through the roof, and then when that bubble burst with the FinSac and banking crisis, real estate adopted a very negative return cycle for a very long time. So
That's
what you
true.
have if you have a unit trust in a situation like that is that if you think of your asset price falling every month for years,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody in the unit trust is losing, and then people just keep coming for their money.
Mhm.
Mm.
So you can't borrow against that asset at that point to pay out the people,
Mhm.
because you will be borrowing at an asset at $1,000 asset. You pay out the person, you're still holding that $1,000 asset. But in 6 months' time, that $1,000 asset might be worth $800.
Yeah, you still owe 1,000 against it plus the interest.
And that's what happened to some very big insurance companies in Jamaica. They
Yes,
lost
sir.
billions of dollars like that because
Mm.
they borrowed against the asset, they paid out the unit trust holder, and then the asset fell in price. So now they were upside down on the loan. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
have the cash. You don't want to do that. That's a nightmare.
Mhm.
So most likely what unit trust would do if they're in that scenario is they would suspend payments and try and sell the asset, and then whatever cash they get, then they would disperse it to whoever wants money. That
Mhm.
would be the smart thing to do. I don't think people make the same mistakes twice. Um, but I don't see real estate going into that kind of a negative cycle, based on how we're running the country right now. Interest rates are going up temporarily, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term trend. I think as inflation backs off, interest rates are going to come back down, and real estate prices are going to keep going up. So
Mm.
that's not something I think people have to really worry about. I think you need to pick a unit trust with a good manager that's buying good assets,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be okay.
Mhm.
All right. No, the thing that we're excited about, because I can tell you that while that is good unit trust advice, me personally speaking, only for myself, I would put money in that bond that you guys are in one of the tranches of the bonds that you're putting out versus any unit trust. So what are you thinking around the bond? Because are you are you as excited as Dan and I are about it? Because
I suspect
I
he's more excited, you know.
Yeah,
it is.
well, for us,
Mhm.
for us, it's really it's a test because sometimes you bring something to the market and the market is not ready for it. So you know we're hoping the market's ready for it. So if the market accepts it, I think other people will do it, and it will be a whole new industry that's gonna really explode. Because there's lots of benefits to it. I actually saw it in Costa Rica about 20 years ago, right? Where you had guys and they were sitting at little computers, and the guy had his portfolio, and he would have like 10 or 20 bonds in his portfolio,
Mhm.
and they were publicly traded bonds. And if you want to go supermarket or want to buy a car, I'm just sell piece of one of them bond or like a pieces of five of them bonds, and him get X amount of money, and him go on and buy him car. And so it's an alternative to other types of fixed income investments. But the thing is that remember, when you buy bonds, bond prices can appreciate and they can go down,
Mhm.
depending on interest rates. You know, so you get additional liquidity in that you can buy and sell at any time.
Mhm.
Yes.
But with a CD, it's fixed for a term.
Mhm.
So you there's no up and down. It's fixed
It
for
is
a
what it
term,
is. Yep.
right? So,
Yeah.
but if you hold a bond till maturity, then it becomes just like a CD. So it's
Mhm.
fixed for the term.
Mhm.
So the liquidity, you get extra liquidity because you can trade it. And then if you're really interested in things like interest rates and stuff, you will be able to see where the interest rate markets is peaking and falling, and people actually make a lot of money that way in the bigger
Mhm.
markets with a lot of the bonds. So I think it can be a really big thing, but who knows?
Who who knows? Who knows? So you touch on something that we deliberately didn't mention, which is what you said. All right, so I'm gonna do it again from the layman perspective. You're buying a bond out there right now as maybe a more experienced investor who can get a bond. Let's say that the typical bond you're buying at, so you're not buying it at issue. You're buying it from somebody who had it before. You might get 2, 3, 4% on it if you're lucky these days with these interest rates. A bond that is being listed as giving that's on the face of it is offering 12% per annum means that the people who are getting 3% are going to be willing to buy that bond at maybe double the initial cost because
Because it's just better than what I would have had before.
the yield on it is still better than what I'm getting at 3 and whatever. Look at how
Right.
many,
So
yeah.
so so the thing about bond math is that bond math is a little bit more complicated than CD math.
Mm-hmm.
So what you also have to think about is that the duration of it and how long you're gonna hold it for, because
Mhm.
if you're gonna hold it to maturity, then it's an easier calculation in terms of
What the
how
yield
much
is.
premium you're gonna pay and whether you can still make a lot of money on it.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna be trading it and you're paying a big premium, then that's a whole different story.
Mhm.
But
So
I
so
think,
for example, one of the reasons you're seeing, you're hearing about um some companies in the Caribbean region that has been having, big mark-to-market losses on bonds
mm-hmm.
is because when the Fed push up the bond, it push up the
Int-
interest rates, the
uh-huh.
price of the bonds go
Man drop.
down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So you end up losing on the price.
Mhm.
But the good thing about this issue is like, um right now interest rates are high. How much higher can they really go? I mean, I don't want to bet on that, but we haven't seen these levels of interest rates at the BOJ for 10 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So since like when 20,
Or
I
IMF
can't
days.
remember, a long time.
Yeah.
So interest
Pre
rates are
IMF
more
days.
likely to
Switching
maybe
down.
go a little bit more higher and moderate and then go down. So
Mhm.
the risk of facing high interest rates now, I think, is lower than any time in the last 3 years.
Mhm.
So that's not a big risk for this particular issue. But
Mhm.
in general, with bonds, you always have to think about that, unless you're holding to maturity. And that's why we did several tranches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't want to take interest rate risk, you buy the tranche where you want to hold it, and then you don't have to worry about whether it goes up or down.
Mhm.
And then when you buy like that now, it's actually like a bonus because you might be holding it and you're willing to hold it to maturity, but the market moves in your favor. You just sell it and take the profit.
Mhm.
Which
So
which is the thing that I'm most excited about. And I don't know if it's that you wouldn't or you can't say no, but the fact that you're putting them on the actual market that retail investors can access tells me that it's going to be something that, like, there's an entire new retail strategy that I think is going to come up, which doesn't exist currently.
Mm-hmm. So me see too.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, you're
100%.
making a new market again, Sir Barry. You're gonna make a whole heap of people
I'm
rich.
trying. I'm trying. You know, I'm trying. I'm trying.
All right, boy.
The thing, one of the features about Jamaica for me, which I like, one of the features of the capital market that I tend to focus on, why I spend so much time on the JSE,
Mm,
is because, you know, there's a lot of investing that's going on in Jamaica, and I've never seen a good idea in Jamaica that went unfunded, right? So there's a lot of excess capital
mhm,
in the accredited investor class to fund deals.
mhm.
But people who are trying to make their way up the ladder, they don't really get access to these type of deals, right? If you're not accredited investor, you can't get into stuff like this.
That's right.
So the good thing about like the junior market and the JSE is that it creates a framework where you have rules that people have to follow that
Mhm,
takes out some of the risk, but not all of the risk, because once investing there is risk. And it allows more people to participate and earn money in other legitimate ways
Mm-hmm.
where they didn't have access before. You know, it's not everybody can start their own company, or it's not
that's true.
everybody can do a whole real estate investment by themselves. But by having these type of vehicles where the retail market can participate, then you're bringing up everybody. It's more for the mass market, and if everybody does better and everybody has access to more products like this, then we all do better.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's kind of my
And the point of
one of
risk.
my big things, that I try to do over the years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the point of risk, if we have more things available, then they can navigate that better. Versus, well, I'm in a reach just a shares thing, and and you want to do the bond thing where you couldn't do it before, well, you can be that guy now.
Yeah, and it's a more stable. It's a more stable income than the stocks. You kind of know what you're gonna
You know what
earn.
you're getting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what you're getting and the frequency of the payments and stuff like that. Whereas stocks, I'm
You have to figure it out.
personally as an investor, I can tell you I'm not the bond guy, right? I'm a stock guy. I'm
Same.
you know,
Preaching to the choir.
but 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 the fixed income market is much 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 bigger than the equities market. I mean, that's where the big money is.
Mhm.
So you know, and all of our clients, they have a lot of fixed income, and we have a lot of accredited clients that have been trading in bonds for decades through Mayberry. But we also have many, many, many more clients who are not accredited and they don't have access to this type of thing. So we say, hey, let's see if they'll want to play in this game.
Mhm.
And we can say that if it works, as you say, it's a test. But I think this test, I might be running ahead of the game, but I think this test is almost certainly going to work. But we can say that if it works, Mayberry does have loads of other clients that have bonds that they might be willing to also list. Yeah.
Well, I see other brokers doing it. I see clients. Well, we are already doing a lot of stuff on the private markets for clients, and
Mm-hmm.
all the major brokers are.
Yeah.
And a lot of clients prefer to be on a private market. They don't want the hassle of dealing with too many people. Having a public security is different from our private security. I mean, I've had cases where, a client will say, give us a list of names and say, these people cannot buy my security.
Really,
Oh, yeah.
that is very
Not
Jamaican.
surprising, Jamaica.
That is very
Yeah,
Jamaican,
no,
boy.
absolute,
Yeah,
100%. And I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I can't disclose that to anybody, even the
I
person
understand.
who is calling
Mhm.
to buy and can't buy. And,
Yeah.
it's just, those things have to remain confidential forever. But,
Mm-hmm.
in a private market, you can do that. in a public market now is, once you
It's what it
qualify, you
is.
qualify, and a lot of clients don't want to really deal with that. But I think there's also benefits, because you can tap into a much wider, bigger pool,
Mhm.
and when you're in a private market, it's all about institutional investors, right? And accredited clients. It's a much smaller group, and sometimes we're all in the market at the same time. So if you don't have your ducks lined up in a row, you won't get funded, or it might take you a long time.
But no, things are changing. And what I suspect, what I'm banking on, is that there'll be enough business owners, and I'm thinking especially of smaller business owners, who are going to realize the benefit from this, and also other people who are bond holders who realize that, wait, I might get 20% cap gain on a 5% a 5% yielding bond, but to me the percentage gain is a percentage gain, whether or not it's from a payout or just from selling the debt for higher. And to get that catalyst, that's what the public brings. Yeah, man, I am like, I want personally, I don't want to thank you yet. Let's see how it works out, and then I will thank you. But
Indeed.
but I suspect that it will work extremely well.
So
And
looking
yeah,
forward to the next one.
yeah, the next few too, because I also
Indeed.
think it will be a route that other companies that might be avoiding the market might go. They might list their debt first, the bond is out there trading, and then they say, you know what, let's list by introduction because the debt is out there already.
Yeah,
Or
that's
let
possible. Yeah. Well, one thing you remember doing, one thing, people, one of the things you have to remember about bonds is like, like when companies raise bonds, they have to like take all the money at one time, right?
hmm
And that's one of the benefits of doing a bank loan, because when you do a bank loan, you can draw down the money as you need it, and you
Mm.
can pay back the money as you need it. So a bond is not for every type of transaction and every type of situation. It's just another product that you put in the whole mix of the financing mix, if you follow what I'm saying.
I,
So I don't want people to think of it as like as it's a competition. It's not a competition, it's a complementary product.
I understand that, but you see, because I don't own any brokerage house, no, I'm gonna say otherwise. But you are correct. You are correct. Different
No,
situations.
because I'm telling you, when we advise clients, lots of times we say, hey, you have to keep X amount of the debt with the bank because you're gonna go up and down. That's variable credit that you need. You can't put that in a bond because you'll just be paying interest while the money is sitting down. Makes no sense.
That's true, but I'm sure a good broker would put that money to work. I'm thinking I'm thinking maybe smaller money here, relatively smaller money here, but especially these days, I don't know anybody who would maybe want less of the money they have access to now. Yes, you have a situation where you have a line of credit, so you don't pull down your full line of credit immediately, but
Yeah, but you can't do that with a bond. When you raise a bond, you raise all
you
the
just
money
raise
one
a
time.
band. That's true. That's
So
true.
you're
That's
paying
true.
interest on the whole outstanding amount.
That's true. But I tend to run way in advance. I like it. Like I am thinking of situations where somebody does it, then list their bond, and maybe it don't have the same effect and it falls below the yield, but then suddenly the company realizes I can buy back my debt for for cents on the dollar. So why not?
Yeah, that happens too. I've seen
Yeah.
that.
And that option does not exist with the typical loan and with many other products.
No, doesn't.
Yeah, so the risk in my view is hedged both ways. If it's not liked and it falls below, I call it par or falls below value, then that's an opportunity to get the gain by buying your debt back cheaper. And if it is
It
loved and
also
goes higher,
and it's on the market, so fall in price, more yield.
exactly. Yes. I suspect that as a result, lots of things won't fall. And yeah, I can't see somebody getting a bank account while these bonds are around, personally.
I don't know about getting a bank account, but leaving money in there? Nah, hell no.
Yeah, I
Well, there
can't see
won't
doing
there
that.
won't be enough product for one.
That's
There won't be
it.
enough product for one, and to the convenience.
Mhm.
When you
Yeah.
have a banking account, you can draw money out of it every day, which people
Uh,
are accustomed to. So, once things are new, it doesn't
mhm.
have the kind of adoption rate.
Mhm. But
It
as we
takes,
go along, then
you
as the
know,
market develops, then we get more out of it.
yeah, absolutely. And it works great for electronic market because which our market's pretty much electronic now. So,
Yes.
your settlements go to your account, RTGS. So the whole thing's very convenient.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least, since I've here, ask you one of the hot questions everybody I'm sure wants to know about. You have some IPOs planned for us next year?
We're always working on IPOs. I mean, I don't really like to talk about anything I'm working on because
Anything could change.
I've seen, things that's supposed to take weeks, take years, and I mean, it's just like it's you don't know, there's so many factors that can affect whether something happens or doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know,
Many a slip
I
between
mean,
cup or lip, cup and lip.
there's one very famous one recently where there was supposed to be an IPO and then the whole company was sold shortly thereafter. So I when the prospectus drop, it drop.
Okay. 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 It's hard. I didn't really expect a good answer from you, and I understand why you can't really answer that directly either. But I'm happy about the one that I do know, the one that I'm looking forward to more. And
Indeed.
yeah, yeah, and I'm very, very, very thankful. And if you have any questions
So
for
I
us,
think also one of the things we have to think about is that although I think the appetite for IPOs in Jamaica is still strong,
mhm,
Mhm.
I think the
are
people who are
shifting.
the brokerages that are actually doing the IPOs, we know the effect of higher interest rates on stocks. So this is
Yes,
not really a great time, to be bringing things to the market because you don't want people to buy and then things fall. You want people to buy and things go up. So,
true.
I think until the direction of the interest rates is known by all of us, I don't see the IPO market being that hot.
Mm,
But I would say
mm,
if you just think about the whole mechanics of it.
mm.
I mean, I've noticed a big fall off in purchases of stocks by institutional investors and all of that. People are moving more to cash and fixed income securities as the interest rates rise. I don't see that changing.
That's
So,
true.
so the good thing is that BOJ recently signaled that they're pausing to see how the
Awesome.
market reacts. Um, my feeling about inflation is a little bit different from the central bankers.
What's your feeling about it?
I think it's something that is created by things that were done long time, and the things that they do have less impact on the actual inflation rate than how they message it. I think the thing. So if you think about it, you know, when things are hard to get, you can
Hmm.
demand a higher price.
That's
Mhm.
true. That's true.
And when you build in that expectation of a higher price, you know, the only thing that changes that is when you bring out you go to the market and you have your dozens of pretty mangoes and you think everybody going to buy out your mango and you can't get no sell for your mango.
Mhm.
And then that's when price start to drop.
Mhm.
That's
But
true.
how much demand do you have to kill off before that happens? And
Exactly.
then what is the state of the economy
Also,
when
when you
when
do
that
all that,
happens,
yes.
Yeah.
right? So is it that they're killing off the
The appetite.
consumer, or are they killing off the inflation? Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's much easier for central bankers to cause inflation by printing a hell of a lot of money,
Mm.
and it's a very blunt tool when they try to kill off this inflation that they created by overprinting the money to now tighten the money supply and hike up interest rates. It's very crude, and the results are usually very devastating to the normal and average guy, you know. Well, we see it now, you know. You see a light bill, you know, you see a transportation costs, you know, all of
See,
that was
food
like
costs.
massive printing and COVID by all the central bankers all over the world. Meanwhile, they stop people from working, so there's nobody producing. So goods short, money big. Greatest inflation that we have seen in 30 years. You
Yeah.
know, that's
Yep.
Yeah.
all man-made.
Yeah. Well, what would you suggest as if you held the reins? What would you suggest currently?
I don't hold the reins, you know, and I'm glad I'm not in that hot seat. I mean, they have their playbook. That is their job, and they have to deal with that. You
Mm.
know, I
I feel
think,
like
yeah.
I feel like I have to play devil's advocate. I ask you, what about the fact that there it is accepted strategy to raise interest rates in this way in order to do it. Like it's almost like an antibiotic. Yes, it's harsh to the body, but
But
it's the only tool we
that's
have.
how they work. That's what in the central bank. That's the central bank plan.
That's
Yeah,
what they do.
that's the only
Yes.
tool they
That's
have.
what they do. You know,
Yeah.
that I mean, they have to do something.
Mhm.
You know, they have to do something. And most of the things that central bankers talk about, you know, even smart people can't understand. You know, you need to read some of those reports. They're quite arcane and complex. You know.
I've read some. I'm not trying to make any enemies, but uh, economists are an interesting breed.
Yeah, it's a different
But
world. It's a whole different world. You know, but they are needed and they
they
play
are
a role. And
needed. Are they?
we just have to. I think it's more important for people like us to understand what the direction is and what the likely actions will be, so that we
Mhm.
can plan for it. And we can't argue with them because we don't have PhD econ, so that's not gonna happen, right? What we say is not material, but we need to understand what the likelihood of what they're gonna do. So it's very good when I heard the BOJ say, "Hey, they're gonna pause and look at it."
Mm-mm.
Um, we see what the Fed does, and
Mhm.
hopefully, if there's no more higher interest rates, then you know the trend is gonna be, because the economy is already slowing in the U.S., Europe, the UK.
Mm-hmm.
The energy prices is everything's going off the rails real fast.
Sure.
Mhm.
But some things are still going well. Tourism is still blowing up.
Yeah,
Um,
well, you know, tourism I'm not worried about. I think tourism gonna be strong. A lot of things that's happening globally favor the near shore. And
Mhm.
remember, our
mhm,
market, over 90 odd percent of our market is US.
mhm,
So all that bad stuff that's happening in Europe and the United Kingdom, and you know, Russia is just pushing more people our side. You know, it's a shorter trip, it's a cheaper trip, it's cheaper hotels, cheaper everything.
mhm.
So I think, you know, any slowdown will be great for tourism in Jamaica.
Mhm.
And you can see the hotels believe in that too. They're putting in,
Definitely.
investing a massive amount of infrastructure for expansion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, next 5 to 7 years, we could be up as much as 50% increase in rooms. I mean, what's happening is just simply amazing.
Word.
Yeah.
Word. Word. I can see. I'll press you again. I can see what to me looks like MJE making the moves around that. You already have a strong tourism footprint, and I think you guys have. I could be wrong. I think you've increased your footprint in food. So JBG, I see some moves made. And the tourists, when they come here, they have to eat. More tourists come to Jamaica than Jamaicans that live here. So,
So I tell you a little thing about JBG that I learned many, many years ago. So we were involved in the IPO of JBG.
hmm
We had to, do a deep dive on that company, and we've been working with them off and on since then. And we know the family, and we're good friends, and it's a great company. And two families that do most of the chicken in Jamaica, two great Jamaican families.
hmm
But one of the things that really works well for those chicken companies is because there's a local production input into the protein. When you have high inflation globally, um, sometimes chicken tend to go up less than the other sources of protein because it's coming from abroad 100% with,
hmm
and so you get the full exchange rate, you get the full impact of the foreign inflation and the exchange rate and all of that. Whereas because there's a labor component and a local component to the chicken, the prices don't tend to go up as fast. So their volume sales tend to go up in times like these. And Jamaicans love chicken already. So, I mean, you make it a little bit, it's not cheaper, it's more expensive, but we're talking about relative cheapness
hmm
or relative costs. Consumers in hard times will want to get more bang for the buck.
hmm
So, you know,
The
it
chicken
usually
is not,
works out.
yeah, and it has been working out.
And the
It's always
multiple of JBG right now is pretty good.
okay. There we go.
It's
Like I
one
said,
of
it's
the, it's one of the cheaper stocks on the market. So,
Indeed.
yeah, yeah, it's a
I
PE
don't.
that is almost as low as MIL's PE, which
That's
is
crazy.
Yeah.
probably the
So,
lowest in the market.
so
How
for
long are you
me,
going to
it's
allow
like
that
I
to
buy
last?
all day long. I like it.
Yeah. How long are you going to allow that situation to last, Sir Berry?
Boy, I mean, it's not about me. It's about the market. I'm just one player.
That is true for those who believe it, but you are a powerful player in the market. All right,
Yeah,
I have
but
it here.
anytime you start
And
thinking
they're
like
breaking up.
that, I say anytime you start thinking that you move the market is when the
Mhm.
market is going to
Move you.
cut you off at the knees. I don't play that game.
That is true. That is true. But and I don't. Neither do I. I know better. I know there are levels in this market, but I am also aware that there's people below and there's people above, and everybody together makes that market. So when
Indeed.
you say that you see it as a buy, I can't knock that. And just thinking simply, Jamaicans not going to stop eating chicken anytime soon.
Yeah, but the multiple is relatively low compared to many
Everything
other
else.
good stocks that you can buy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you beat the market, right? You try to find relative value.
Mm-hmm.
The population is growing. Um, Also, they're expanding into the North American and the global market, and they have been successful at it. You
Yes,
see all
that
the
is true.
acquisitions, you see the revenues, foreign revenues versus local revenues.
Big
Both Grace
change.
Kennedy and Jamaica Brothers are actually going through that cycle. Um, I think the Jamaica Brothers is the uplift and the effect on their financials is more extreme than on Grace Kennedy.
Yep.
But it's the same type of story. And I love stocks like that because once you move that limitation of that 3 million people, if they really execute well in those markets, you can. I mean, the first stock that I made a lot of money like that,
Mm-hmm.
a company called Jamaica Producers. I bought my first house off a
Oh
Jamaica
yes.
Producers stock. The
Oh
second
yeah.
company I made a lot of money like that was La Sales de Mercado.
Ah, a lot of money
When they
made.
were increasing every year, they were increasing their rum sales globally, and then you remember that it sold for a huge amount of money at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when that stock was selling for $1.50, and eventually It's sold for some crazy money. People made a lot of money. I remember one particular client that came to my office 3 times to sell that stock. And I wrote down what I thought my valuation was
Mm-hmm.
on a piece of paper. And I said, this is what the stock is worth. Don't sell it. And anytime I see them, man, them just love me because them say, boy, they never believe. When I see the number right now, it looks so ridiculous.
It's from
But
Berry to Bury.
it actually happened. Pardon me?
From Berry to Bury.
Yeah, man, it actually made, Lascelles, that was a great stock.
It was
So
a
when
great start.
stocks start to do that international move successfully,
Mm-hmm.
it can be big.
Okay, and there's a hint of GK in that.
Yeah, well, GK they set the target to the 50%. They hit that target. They don't want to go to 70. I think they're executing against their plan.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And we have
So
more to come.
yeah,
Already.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, you like it a lot. And well, since you mentioned JP, Jamaica Producers, how you feel about what's happening now?
Mhm.
It's very exciting. It's a whole new chapter for them. I think it's a tremendous merger. I like it a lot. I think it's great. I mean, they just have to get all the different personalities to work together, and that's a very strong, powerful Jamaican company.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Dana agrees with you. Dana kind of made that point when we last spoke 2 weeks ago that it was like he was wondering what it takes for that because as you know, a company. I mean, it's great. We talk about stock prices all the time, but the actual company, what the company does for
It's the people.
business, yeah, it's the people, and that requires a lot. Leadership, synergy, it requires a lot. So I'm excited about it also. I like that
So
you.
the other thing I like about that whole combination, is like, so if I were a director of Panjam, right?
Hmm.
I think that Jamaica's real estate market in 20 years' time, you're not going to believe what it's going to be like.
Real estate.
Real estate. And I think Panjam is not doing enough real estate deals. By hiving off all those other operational companies onto to JP, that they're great at running millions of different companies. They do that all day long.
Hmm.
And the Panjam guys now can just focus more on real estate and do more big real estate projects.
Mhm.
That could be a hell of a game changer for Panjam.
Mm. Mm. That's interesting. I
I mean, listen, fly to Dam Rep, fly to Colombia. Some of these places is just an hour south of Jamaica. You fly to these places, Dam Rep is an hour away, and you see what those cities look like. That's what Kingston gonna be looking like in 20 years' time. A lot of development,
mm.
a lot of real estate.
Which brings us to cement. How you feel about cement these days?
Oh, I'm very bullish on cement, but and the cement price, I think the stock going to great, but that doesn't change my what I'm doing. I'm selling. I'm coming out. You know,
Mm. Of which one?
Which one?
of
I mean,
cement,
I know one cement
definitely
there, bossy.
Of cement.
cement.
Of cement the field. You're exiting cement the field, sir.
The company,
Oh
Okay,
no,
the
no.
stock.
the stock. Okay. But I don't think me as a layman here, I don't think that if real estate is going to do as greatly as I think it's going to do, and I agree with you. and development, especially urban development, is going to do what it's going to do. So that's a lot of
Well,
skyscrapers.
you're gonna have hotels. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna. I mean, our infrastructure in Jamaica that we have is way behind where it needs to be.
Yep.
We need a
I
whole
agree.
heap of road. We need. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some of the schools, them. I mean, them
Yeah.
old time like some like a box foolishness. And nah, all them
Yeah.
things have to lick down and build over.
Yeah, man. I agree. The
It's gonna
quota
be a
has to be
massive
increased.
development
Yeah, man.
infrastructure in the next 20 years. If we really want to move our society forward in a meaningful way, it
Mm-hmm.
has to happen.
Mhm.
I agree with you. I don't think the current quotas will allow that. So I look forward to the cement field myself. I also don't own the Carib Cement Company, but I'm open to re-entering the field.
I'm open to read. I'm open to buying cement.
Yeah, I'm open to getting back into the sector.
Sector,
Anyway,
you know.
anyway, possible. All right, I don't have any questions for us, Sir Berry, or any outlook you want to share with us. I don't want to keep you all night.
No, I just wanted to no, I don't have any questions for you guys. I just wanted to, find out if you wanted to discuss anything, and you know, I'm glad you gave our little offering and a little coverage. We appreciate that.
No problem, man. The check I'm sure will be signed on Monday. No, but yeah, I don't mind giving it coverage because like you heard us talking, it's not a pretending. We really are excited about it. I think of it like the start of the junior market in 20 in '09. That's how I see it, and I hope to look back 10 years from now and go, I was right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's going to change. It's going to bring real depth to the market, greater depth to the market. So looking out for
Game
that.
change again.
Yeah, man. So thank you very much, Sir Berry.
Indeed.
All
I
right. Nice
Yeah,
talking
man.
to you guys.
No
All
Have a
right,
problem.
boss.
good
Best
weekend.
up. Keep safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. Night, night.
What a
So,
time.
yeah,
What a time.
what a time to be alive. So talk to me. Which cement you say you're buying now?
Go Arrow. Where you go? It's
I don't
Arrow
know.
can name? It that with Diane. If
What
you
I
listening.
do know is that yeah, Diane always telling us. So funny enough, he says the same thing Barry said. We should go to Damrep and check it
Yeah,
out.
check it out.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
Damrep.
we. I think we've spoken about that. Not necessarily damn rape, those what Jamaica is. What Jamaica is right now. It not stop.
Yeah, no, I was making a specific Damrep
I
point
know, I
because
know, man,
yeah,
I know.
yeah.
But
I
this is
don't.
the same thought 20 years from now, he said. Oh God.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah,
That,
the 20 years from now. We spoken about how much has changed in 20 years. And 20
mm,
years ago, there's a lot. Like it just what Jamaica looked like. And then
2002
now it's
versus now is
mhm,
a massive difference, at
drastic.
least to my eyes. And I not
Yeah.
even that's just Jamaica. The stock market completely
Mm-hmm.
different. '02, I would have been leaving high school, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean I knew about the stock market then, but it was just something I just it was just something I liked as a little hobby, but I wasn't really doing nothing. And it was a completely different market. 2042. Can you imagine what our market is gonna look like then? The bond market might be just
Booming.
normal, not even booming. I think it's gonna be
Oh, I
booming
mean
over the
next
next
way.
2 years. Yeah,
Oh, get what you're saying. Yes, it might just be
I
now.
think nothing is going to happen for the next year other than the Mayberry listing, and maybe later on, I suspect whenever Dollar have them next AGM, people gonna ask them when are you listing the private that bond that debt on the market, or maybe they'll come with something else, another bond.
Mm-hmm.
I think others, as usual, I say it openly that Mayberry do it and then the other brokers follow. So I think that will happen, and the depth that's going to come from that, I can't joke. And then there's also the long promise shorting. JC does have 3 more weeks to deliver that.
December, you know? Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Or next year, who knows? I'm open to it even next year. Can you imagine shorting with the bond market?
Brother.
Oh my golly God. Uh whew,
What a
whew,
time.
what a time to be alive. Other things though. maybe more typical things in maybe more near future. We can wrap on some of those. Separate did talk about listing their new
Yes,
subsidiary.
Brad. I mean,
Yes, Bryden.
yeah. The
I don't
thing
think
is true. You think he coming? You think he not going to come out
I don't
before
think
end
it's
of year?
coming. I don't think it's coming before end of year. I feel like if it don't happen next week, it's not happening again.
Mm.
Yeah, after next week, Jamaica done in terms of the market. Yeah,
So that's what I agree. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I agreed. I don't.
yeah.
But
Not in a
what do you
bad way. It's
think?
just I
I know,
think.
man. I'm thinking.
Tell me.
Because I don't think there was a long road to this. If they miss them this. I mean, we said it before. Introduction seems to be the way them going. I've been trying to not say that for the too long. I'm tired of
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think introduction. So they don't have a long road to this. The whole IPO process and the prospectus issues and whatever. It's just a
Mhm.
listing and we're going through whatever people. So if the only way I'd see it, the only reason I would say boy to keep it longer than so is if you want the listing to stand out.
I don't think they care. You think they care? I think it would
No,
separate the
so to me, I think
yeah.
I think they'd be very fine if cool we get the green light and we stand the 29th of December. So you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's almost inevitable for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, separate is like being very. Let me manage what I say. It's separate is a household name, so anything
Mm-hmm.
they put forward is going to just by default get heavy support.
Also interest, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Something like this, Bryden, all the pensions going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You don't need to buy it.
yeah, and
Just introduction. You already get that out of the way.
yeah, but then you know what comes next, right? And then of course separate is likely to raise. So, but the
uh-huh.
point that they said it and made it clear that it was happening in that order, I think is important. Something that Sir Berry mentioned also, GK, maybe in more detail. I don't want to give that detail. The people who did the research, shout out to the girl subscribers. We're having a girl session or a chill session next weekend in person, and remind me that I said this then, and I'll finish it for you guys. But GK, I think, is also great. I agree with him that JBG. I don't know if I said it here. I don't know if I said this on this, but JBG is also it's possibly my dark horse for next year too. Um, and I think the smaller level of finance is going to matter a whole lot in 2023. Meaning, yeah, we know what NCB is capable of being the giant that they are, but you're going to have smaller players having outsized impact, right? I expect. I hear BPM Financial saying that they are listed. They say like it's a foregone conclusion.
Wait, what?
The, the BPM Financial in an article mentioned that they are listing, but
So wait,
not.
I send an article and not even fully read it for read up on it. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right, gotcha.
yeah. They said
That's
they're
even funnier
listing,
now.
but they
Damn.
didn't. They didn't say. They say it like they're doing a couple of other things first, and
Uh-huh.
they've said that it's the second such article I've seen quoting company principals saying that. Um, and so I'm looking forward to that. I think I still think on the smaller side of things in the finance space, things will be great. Stuff I don't necessarily too want to talk about. You've seen it. I mean, it's out there that in some ways, MFS spoke about doing their acquisition, one of the acquisitions um, last week after the AGM. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one very clear thing. And the principles behind it, MFS also on an interview he gave an idea of some of his plans and some of the things that he wanted to do and intends to do. I don't know if it will work, but to hear a small host doing it, you know how I feel about smaller players.
Mm-hmm.
The footprint is small, so they're deadlier. They can do a lot of things. And maybe again, they're really gonna have to cut a check for us, you know. But maybe again, I think it's an example of what a smaller host can do when they're effective,
Mm-hmm.
because you can make moves that giants follow. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
that. And as it is now, I mean, look at MJE. There's no fund that is doing in the same. I look at the unit trust returns for this year, and I also look at MJE's NAV, and I can tell the difference if you want to see what I mean, look at both of those things. Uh, Infrastructure, I agree with him. That's not even infrastructure is just going to continue to be built out. I look forward to the first BPO listing. That will be interesting. What do you think?
PPO. Oh, that will be interesting. That will
Yeah.
be interesting. Imagine employee pool. Imagine that.
Whew. I never ever thought of that. The employee pool must sell off. It
Must.
must. It must.
And
It
if you're
must. It
not, you
must.
must meet. It must. There's no way, right? Like
Yeah,
even
there's
if
no way.
nobody, if me not do, I have a friend who knows at IPO, and he will come to me and say, "Then I could do that thing now."
Yeah, man. If you have a BPO and you need help, come to the market. We are willing to help you.
Indeed.
Yeah, we are willing to help you. And we can wrap on this. What your wish list for listings next year, then I?
I hate that question. I don't do that. I really don't.
Uh,
Which list mean which companies do this? I don't do
yeah,
that
man.
very often. It's
Why
always,
not?
I don't. It's always close to home. When I think of wanting a company, meaning I want this specific company to list, it's always close to
Mm.
home. Something me can touch. Something I'm about to touch or something I've already bought in. Something like that. That's what
Oh,
it's
okay.
been.
Well,
In terms of,
don't get the
I,
private
mean,
list.
I know, I wouldn't say that. Outside of that, it's not typically, I mean, list tasty. What does? Juicy. Juicy would be interesting to me. I think the franchise of the party franchises, I think Juicy in the way they handle their franchising, I think they do it neatest. And I think there's a lot just having that process in the way they do, them can go far with it. I would say models too, not taste. I think tasty behind in certain ways there. I mean,
But that's good when you're behind, right?
it's good in it behind. So
Yeah,
so at least
yeah.
I'll share them, yeah, yeah. But
Or
so
just get one that's.
I would actually I almost need to say that. Why would our party companies listed?
I would love if one party company lists, because
And
then
the
it would
next two.
force the rest of them to list. Yeah,
Yes, I would love to see
yeah.
that.
I hope next year there'll be a listing of a party company. I
And he
look
can do
forward
so
to it.
much.
Yeah,
Yo, listing something like brother, brother, brother,
yeah,
brother. And
yeah,
they should see.
yeah. I love. I see that. I see Peter Issa in the chat. Um, and I remember Sir Berry's tweet from a couple of weeks ago, uh, inviting him to list. I love that. I would love if a pure construction company list. What do you think? With all the development that is likely to happen over the next few years, I would love if that if a company in that class actually listed. Cause we have one
Same,
part.
actually, definitely. But yeah, what we said, we said.
Well, I saying that we have. I thinking about the vertical,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if it's a true
Yeah,
vertical. So
that's
of
the
course,
thing. So we don't have we have pieces of the vertical more often than not.
yeah.
The full thing. I mean, even first rock. Even first rock is a piece of the vertical. It isn't the I'm a building for first I do the building for use type of thing.
The development side isn't listed, right?
Uh-huh. It's all internal basically. So
Signus Real Estate is listed. Real
it
estate
was a piece of a
financing.
thing. It's a piece. It's still a piece of it. It's not the I'm coming to you to build these things.
And they tend to keep the good part. I shouldn't say they keep the good part to themselves. They keep a lot of the attractive parts private.
Mm-hmm. And so so yeah, my first thought was we've already seen it seems it's something like that. They find it, I think they almost find it easy to give us the next part and keep the thing there.
Mm.
What would you think would take? I mean, if you would, it makes sense. But
I'd love if
I
my
think
money
I think
clearly listed, but
I think that no, I don't mean that. I mean from thing there from a construction. I mean, if I have the construction, I'm listening. But they find it very easy to not because they can do the next piece side of it, or I can step back to some degree. I take the management, you take this side. But the actual pure real, when I come to business development, whatever, that'll be very, very interesting.
that would be good. The development side, right? Somebody has to see the value in doing it that way. But
But
I think what has happened in the real estate sector so far, again from the outside, is that you look to the market to get the funds, but then your actual where you
Yes.
pull cash from the market, but then you want to
Yes.
handle the cash without
You
any
know, get the
oversight.
rate.
Yeah,
I will list the financing or push the money to the market. You're not touch it. So them treat it in the way. Say, all right. So you know what thing there. So my thought first thought, well, they run a thing there. They run a. Why I say it's easy because they get some. One, even without listing, even without listing the vertical, they often get so much money, right? Them are the pensions that come together and then make sure they're pushing in the funding of whatever construction. The banks there already. So basically they get a lot of debt. So
true.
the things they list, they treat that as debt in a way too.
And they treat it as patient capital, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not necessarily deliberately, but
I mean, it is going to be that. I don't know, but
yeah,
not necessarily deliberately. It does make sense.
that's
All
true.
right, I pay an interest rate. I pay the interest on that, but now I can just pay. I can cap the interest in reality.
And my bill to you,
Exactly.
is whatever I bill you at. That's the bill.
Exactly.
There's no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Outside of real estate, though, what else would I like to see list? I would love if. Well, I hate, sometimes I like our early earning season days, so we could just talk purely.
Talk. No.
Yeah, because no feelings hurt. I'd love if some other car companies listed other than JetCon,
Oh yeah, but
or if
in this week I
JetCon
was thinking about it. Like
expanded.
there should be definitely there should be more competition in on the listed in that space.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I'd like if I want to say food, but like you said, patty, but not just patty.
But yeah, exactly that. I want to the restaurant space saying yo, because then imagine just force it to formalize in certain ways, make it really, brother.
But not just that. What about the formalized ones already? I'd love
I
if
don't know.
I'd,
That's.
I'd love
I
if
don't know if you get what
restaurants
I
at
mean,
Jamaica came to. I'd love if
but even
restaurants
there,
at
yeah.
Jamaica came to the market. I don't think that they would, but
Mm-hmm.
what's the other one?
I mean, ECL, they are do it. Them say them getting them thing there. The ECL
Yes,
already have them people, and them say them going
full
retail,
market.
retail. They go touch Jamaica, and not only the airports anymore, kind of deal.
Yeah, they said they're going Auntie Annie's, and there's another
The next
brand of
one
it.
that in the same group,
Yeah, that they're
Cinnabon.
bringing Cinnabon. Oh
Mm-hmm.
God, diabetes up. I wish more health companies would list.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing if over the next 10 years we get opportunities to actually own certain sectors. I hate to sound
Mm-hmm.
terrible about it, but this is what investing is, right? Is that the Warren Buffett thing? You own, what is it, Pepsi, Coca-Cola,
Mm-hmm.
own a soda company, own Seas Candy, and then you also own some medical companies, and then you also own some insurance companies. Um, I would love if that were to happen. I would love
If you could pick in that way, and you could actually one, you're mapping the trends easier,
exactly.
and two,
Yeah,
you see the impact you can, and things get better on the back of that. Because in
yeah,
truth, what we have now often just leads to the bad side getting better, and in the good side just being it just so you go. I'm not. We have a thing with money in terms of I think generally, the idea that Jamaican people don't have no money, right?
supposedly.
And that is often supposedly. I keep meeting those guys with money somehow.
Yeah.
Um, but in the turn around, and I think that comes heavily into the business space where boy, so now think of how much borrowing say you can get a bank loan instead of and then equity investment is not seen in set as an option for because one, me not gonna ask the brother for money. Two, brother they not the money. Three,
I don't
well, I
want
just
to
don't think
answer
of
to
it as a
nobody.
I don't or him don't think of it sensibly. Him think of it. I mean, you can get you can do certain things and yeah, okay, cool, you're in the company, but you're not gonna talk. I mean, I have the guy managing that doing what if they're doing it, they can find a way to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then two, really and true, if I look at that then, if we have people with a way out, just the okay, this is an option of you getting money to do it for a company. Then we have more of that. Then immediately, okay, innovation XYZ happening, or things that think of how much follow fashion company we get in Jamaica.
And
This
what
thing
kind of
big in
company?
Jamaica, follow fashion company, man. So
Oh, somebody does it.
I
You
for
mean receivables financing?
Oh no, no. uh,
Factoring, sorry, factoring.
no, follow fashion companies. That's funny. That is funny from two sides. But follow fashion companies, meaning they say a thing that this go in America and all, I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna build an app
Oh God.
because this app is popular in America and whatever.
Sounds so easy. I tell you one time when we were building my money JA, there was there was a shout out to this developer because I rate you got. in if DM me and say, yo, I'm about to build the same thing. So it's might as well you just send me your data. So I said, go ahead, build it.
Yep.
Because it is very easy to say. If I
I
knew
mean,
if I knew how
the
difficult it
thing
was,
about knowing how much follow fashion companies is, you know how much of them actually doing anything sensible.
true, true.
In fact, I mentioned the app thing because we have this idea say, yo, I'm gonna do the app so the business come next. The business is the back of the thing. So I'm gonna do the app, it done there. So
Oh
I've
yeah,
done all the work needed and the market will come to me. And the thing does make sense for everybody.
and then
How often we see that one day?
and then your cost of Jamaicans not
Yeah,
sophisticated enough.
man.
They don't understand it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no. Product market fit is
I
hard.
know
Yeah,
Jamaica, them wicked and them hold on and them not really support you.
hold on.
Promise
Science.
you, nobody was ever nobody was ever supported on the basis of that. All right, so you have to do a bit more. You have to actually
That's
do the
true.
thing. But then, if we have this space where, cool, everybody doing the follow fashion, but the guy who do it sensibly get the money, or all them get the money, but the guy who do it sensibly is the right investment, and he's gonna live, and because that person got the money, I mean, the 900 get the money, 800 fall out of the race, but because at least he got the money, then him can actually make this into something real.
Yeah. And a listed company, as you always say,
Yeah.
is a very difficult thing to kill.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. In fact, you said that we have a burgeoning tech sector now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have Edifocal listed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if one considers themselves to be tech, but they are listed. Um, I don't know if JC considers themselves to be tech, but they are also listed, and they might start thinking of it. T-Tech seems to be going through a
A
renewal,
change.
a change. Yeah, I'm hoping that's what it is. They could get interesting for a change.
Though, I mean, how often how much?
They've had a long time.
No, man. You mentioned T-Tech, and I remember, I think of the SaaS, the unlisted SaaS space. How everybody want to do it. I mean, it's a buzzword in the tech space. I want a SaaS company, and you want whatever, say start build whatever. But then, how much of them fall through? How much of them don't actually go anywhere? Yo, listing can change that.
But
Because
you have to
often
be.
balling is a resource situation. I mean, if you're listed.
It's so weird. One day I should give them my money JA story. Because I know at least at this point, and it's still a long journey, but at this point of where we are, I realize some of the things that I just did differently. Because I know this, because I know this, I never expected, like, you have a bootstrap, and if your idea, I don't buy into that foolishness that Jamaican people can appreciate. It's usually
Oh,
Jamaican people saying that we can appreciate something good.
exactly.
Yeah, if it's good, we will pay for it. If people not paying for it, it's because it's not the right thing.
Yeah. So we have this thing where we fight the customer.
Yeah.
Why you don't buy it? Beg you buy it culture.
Yeah, we give them
How
the
dare you
KFC
not?
service.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, him don't understand the need for
I
it.
sell chicken and no Rigo on a KFC. No work so.
Nah, no change. Why you come to me with grand for? Nah, no change. But I say all that to say that I think there's a change coming along those lines. So like, I remember the early days when Swaby was starting out and the trouble he went through to be able to secure funding, as opposed to now, like where we see him just close a bond to really help him cash flow wise. Think of what an Edifocal might invest in 5 years from now, 2 years from now, right? Think of what they may invest in. I'm talking about locally, and then what that might become. If you remember, one of the things that they promised was, what's that payments thing that they did?
Get paid.
Get paid. I don't know if that's still around, but it was mentioned as something that was a big buzz, or I think earlier in the year and
I
last
think even
year.
in the last round of reporting on news, it even came up. So somewhere.
Not in the financials.
News. I said reporting on news.
All right.
So that's how I
But
think. Yes, I still await the
yeah,
things in the financials.
get paid. I'd love if CVM were to come to market now.
Yep.
The World Cup buzz is nice, but World Cup done December 18th, And after Argentina wins, what is CVM going to do after that? What are they going to do after that point? I mean, a media business is not necessarily an
Easy.
easy business, yeah. And
And
they
look on
got in.
look on RJ right now.
RJ just reabsorbed
1834.
which was really an arm of Gleaner, the other arm of Gleaner they didn't buy before, right?
Mm-hmm. Investments and business and building.
Yeah, yeah, and under 1830, is it under 1834 the Star, what a name? Star Apple?
No, RJ with Startup,
It's
yeah.
under RJR. It wouldn't matter now because they're all back in.
Everything I want.
Technically, there could be those that analytic company could technically do something, right? There's Blue Dot under GK. They could do something. I mean, it's been the open secret that they're going to list at some point. And GK is listing criteria, so I suspect Blue Dot will meet it. And I think there's loads of other opportunities to come up. Yeah, I think, but next year I think it's the rise of the funds and the debt and the broadening of the market. And I think you might actually start being able to play sectors on a shorter timeline.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And not just finance. And even within finance,
That's funny,
I think,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Even within finance, I think you might start seeing more demarcation, right? You might, yeah, you might find people doing a whole lot more. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much. I can shout out to the girl subscribers this month's advance girl. I'm going to be talking more in depth about what I think for 2024 in a more serious and market strategy way. If you want to come to that, evermickle.com/GRWR. I'm also only doing one grow this month, the split grow. Evermickle.com/GRWR. Sign up for that if you're interested. You get a discount to a session with Danai, who is still the best investment advisor for the local equities market that I know, bar none. I haven't met anybody better than him who's advising regular people yet. So you get a discount for that. And if you link Danai first, you also get a discount for Grow. And if you don't have a mymoneyja.com account, you want to get one quickly.
Straight up.
Yeah, the app and a whole lot more is coming very, very soon. Very, 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 very soon. And yeah, I know you have anything else you want to drop there?
No, but I don't think I've said it much this year. Keep investing. Trust me, more to come. Every time I turn on and see more. So trust me, don't stop. More will come. Get the goals, get the money, and yeah, the market is there, and we'll be there next year. And I look forward to a lot more next year, and I'm sure a lot of other people are thinking the same.
Yeah. Funny enough,
Trust me. Wow.
I think maybe next year we'll talk, or maybe in a couple of weeks we'll talk about it on BrickTalk. But very, very hinted at it, and I thought I've seen it before. I think how IPOs are going to be accepted by the market is gonna shift also. I think there's a shift. I think the shift, I look back and see the start of the shift being Regency. There's something about how the retail investing public is looking at IPOs now that's kind of shifting. I don't know if the interest rates have something to do with it in a roundabout way.
Regency, not one-on-one.
Not one-on-one. I think one-on-one was just compared immediately to dollar, and it would never carry the same sort of swing.
Yes, but
Regency I mean, people think of Regency along the lines of Fesco, and they love Fesco. And yet, I don't know if the public, the retail specifically, the retail response to Regency was what I would expect it to be.
Same.
Yeah, and I think that's going to
I
continue.
I gave myself leeway for it, but only on the basis of the thought that the market. I mean, we say last 2 weeks ago to some degree that the IPO game changing again, will change again. And I think we're likely to see. I think people getting more real about this thing.
Yeah, and and some people getting frustrated, so then just
oh yeah, man, that's what I mean more real. That's what I mean by more real. Yo, I can't think I can't think all I have into this thing and then get so comfortable with. It goes sound like a little bit of money at the end of the day. Because my 100 grand I'm save up only got me 5.
Yeah, 6 grand. I know somebody who put I want to see them put 2.5 or 3 million into it. I calculated, I don't remember how much I work it out at, but
I hope they borrowed it.
No, but you know.
Oh.
So you go. I don't think they mind it. I think it's a learning experience for them. But I think the retail experience around IPOs is shifting.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe we'll talk about that another week.
Definitely, but I think. Oh, I agree. Yes, definitely. That is changing. Still seeing a lot of the same in terms of expectations, but it's no. It's in terms of it's not even my expectation from people I'm hearing from. It's like a hope. So it's then I think this can go on like that. Basically, is a feel I get in. And you don't ask in those words, but yeah.
That's what you mean. Oh well. I second what Danai said. Regardless of how it might sound, keep investing. I think next year is gonna be the year when a lot of smart people, shrewd people, will make a lot of money in the market. I second what him say. So keep investing. Trust me.
Yes, sir. Great and done.
Yeah,
and
man.
of course, want investment advice? DHAadvisor.com. Link up. We can help you. Whatever goals you have, we'll see what we can do towards that. As I said before, keep investing.
Yeah, man. It only makes sense. All right, people.
Make dollars.
yeah, that's true. Just out of tradition, I'm gonna throw out a last chance. Anybody wanted to talk? This is your last chance.
Indeed. I mean, kind of early, so it's fine if you do that. You know, I could proceed.
Yeah, boy, but no, I start getting used to and
Oh
enjoying.
no, I agree. I'm just giving you away.
The early nights, yeah. Yes, if you want to talk, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask us about, this is your chance. Send a speaker request and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, we're gonna say thank you and good night. I know I have to wait about 30 seconds before everybody actually hears that because of the lag. So if you wanted to ask about anything, this is your chance. Actually, it is also a chance to ask us anything around the market. One thing you might find something interesting. I can tell you there's still plays that I find some of the things I've been doing still find extremely interesting. Yeah. Oh, here's one. Although I think people have forgotten about it. The Aki market, right? The stuff with Spurtree. And how they bought and that company that they bought, Canco. Yeah, 20 Aki companies in the island. One of them being
Exotic. And then
no, well, I'm thinking that one of them being GK.
Oh, okay.
So out of 20, one of them is GK, so we got 19. And then there's Exotic, Canco, Spurtree. That's 3 of them. And no, that's really just one of the 3. Those 3 have become one. Catholics will love that. Consolidation happening in that sector. And hopefully lots of other smaller IPOs, lots of other industry CALs. Anyway, if you haven't sent your speaking request, you have a few seconds. Otherwise, I'll say thank you and good night. And of course, thank you to Sir Berry for coming and actually giving some good insights into not just his company's bond, but his outlook on the market and a little bit of BOJ shade. All right, I'm seeing no one, and I'm gonna take time for that. All right, big up that I thank you to everybody, and have a good night. It's another Brick Talk.
What's up, bro?
All right, night.
Earnings season, bro.